Hello everyone, how are you doing on this Wednesday? Ooh, I can hear myself a lot through this mic. Let me turn it down a little bit. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be first covering the PlayStation 5 event that's going to be starting in about 9 minutes here. We're going to watch the game trailers, and I think they're going to be showing some various PlayStation 5 gameplay. They might be talking about the updates of games from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5 and the technical jump that they're going to have. Hopefully some more actual gameplay. The last event included a lot of gameplay trailers and a lot of CG trailers, but we haven't seen a ton of like live gameplay, so I'm hoping this event will include some of that. And also the ever elusive PlayStation 5 price point. So hopefully today we'll get some answers on that, considering Xbox has shown their hand and they have revealed the price for the different versions of the next generation Xbox. So I hope you're doing well. Which stream am I watching? This is just the official PlayStation one on the PlayStation YouTube channel. There are various ones, though. I mean, IGN has one, but they're all going to be streaming the same thing, basically. I just wanted to get the official PlayStation one so I don't get coverage from other people, because that's what I'm here for. My almost 500 is ready for some Sony. Yeah, I'm guessing, considering the Xbox price point, which I think is, let me double check, it's been a few days. Xbox prices, $499 for the 4K equipped Xbox One X. I believe that's the disc version, and $399 for the discless version, I think. So if PlayStation can hit about that, that's fine. I mean, people, like, some people are concerned about like $500 price tags, but like with inflation, that's about on par with like systems the past couple generations. I think that's okay. And also, like, people spend money on electronics now that they didn't used to. Like, my phone is worth like a you know what I mean? A lot of money. People were buying $1,000 phones now, $600 iPhones. So I don't think it's ridiculous for people to pay, you know, $500 for a game system, considering a lot of the installed base are adults now and not just, you know, kids or parents buying them for their kids, although there's still a lot of that. But you could always get your kid a Switch if you're wanting something just for your kid. They have the low-cost 250 version. Yeah, that's not really a next-gen one, though. It's just like a newer version of Xbox's whole, like, thing now. They're claiming they're not doing generations anymore, and they're just going to support things in sort of a broad manner, and I don't know. I don't like that. I prefer there being hard generation differentiations. Excuse me, I have a lot of heartburn today. I had Long John Silver's for lunch, and that grease is getting to me. Thank you for saying you like the top. A good gaming PC is past 1500. Yeah, mine. I have a pretty good gaming PC. It's right here. Let me see if I can. It's what I stream with. That cost me over $1,000. But, like, it's also a work expense, so I can write it off, unlike a lot of people, which is nice. I prefer consoles, though. I don't play games on PC a lot, even though I have a gaming PC. I like sitting on a couch and having a gamepad, and I know that there was like a thing that's like a Steam Link, although I don't think they sell them anymore. And there are ways to get, you know, like your Steam games playing on your TV, but I don't know. I just find the convenience of a console to be more appealing to myself, but I understand. Like, you get a lot more options with PC and the ability to upgrade over time, whereas the console, you're kind of locked in, so. Big Booty Gothqueer, my laptop was almost 800, but it's a gaming laptop. Yeah, I have somewhere over here my previous system, and I used this to edit the show for years, which was a terrible idea. But I got like a $1,200 like gaming laptop that I used for years, and it was nice. But at the end of the day, it wasn't worth it for just for the portability. I don't think it usually sat in the same spot anyway. So I prefer to do this where I have like a desktop setup that I use to edit and do streaming and stuff. And then I have my like phone and tablet if I need to be on the go for something. And I just prefer that. Used a laptop to edit, destroyed that thing. Yeah, by the end of the life cycle of that laptop, I couldn't edit for more than... something happened to the RAM, and a lot of RAM gets used up when I'm editing video, especially if I'm editing HD video for, like, the movie reviews on YouTube, and it would crash, like, every 15 minutes, and it was a nightmare to edit on the thing. But, yeah. I'm glad I have the desktop set up now. Either way. Nothing wrong with Switch. Oh, I know. I love my Nintendo Switch. I think it's great. I'm just saying, like, if you have a kid, it's probably the best choice for them. There's more kid-centric games. It's portable. It's a little cheaper. I don't know. It just seems like
there's nothing funny about
the thing for them. But if you're looking for like a family system, an Xbox or a PlayStation would probably work. It has a lot of stuff for everyone. But I don't know. I think kids like the Switch better. It has, you know, Zelda, and it has Mario, and it has a lot of other games that I think appeal to kids and are more centered towards them. Beelzebub with 10 bits. Thank you very much. Murdoch is God says, I have an ROG laptop for... Yeah, I had an ROG brand. Like, not... I know that's not the brand, but it's like the sub-brand. It stands for, like, Republic of Gamers. That's the laptop I had for $1,000, and it's really good. I need to extend the storage with another card, but that's easy. Yeah, I had one of those. I still have it. I haven't turned it on in quite a while, but I'm sure I have files and stuff on there, but... I don't know. 3 minutes. Hopefully... I don't know. I just want gameplay footage of actual live... I mean, it won't be live because it's, you know, COVID's going on. But at least actual gameplay footage, you know, that we would see in-game. That's what I'm hoping for. It'd be nice if we got, like, a Spider-Man, Miles Morales demo. That'd be cool. Maybe something to show off the, oh, shoot. The ray tracing stuff that's apparently... gonna be baked into like the PlayStation hardware, like hardware level ray tracing, and that's where they have lighting that isn't necessarily baked into the build like a lot of games do now, where it's like the light is pre-rendered, whereas ray tracing sort of renders lighting bouncing in real time, which is a thing that I've seen some demos of, and it looks very, very cool. It looks very realistic on environments compared to baked-in lighting. And baked-in lighting can be used, you know, for a lot of cool things and effects when you want sort of a cinematic experience in a scene. But if you're talking about, like, being out in an open world or an environment with a lot of dynamic elements where you can, like, light a fire with a torch or, like... you have different things that cause lighting effects. It looks very, very realistic and interesting when it can dynamically change the lighting. More stuff for Resident Evil. Yeah, I played Resident Evil 7 in VR. That thing was amazing. So, I don't know. But I don't know, now that I've played it in VR, if Resident Evil 8 doesn't have that VR stuff, I don't know if I'm going to like it. I'm not usually a horror games person, but the VR stuff, that gets me. I don't know. Your followed channels keep changing people's position. I clicked on Hannah 3 times and got into the wrong stream. Took 3 pills and forgot I didn't have water. That was gross. That's a shame. Sorry to hear that. What's this chat doing? The chat on these is always awful and full of 12-year-olds or 30 and 40-year-olds who act like 12-year-olds. So, once this goes live, I'll full screen the actual presentation so you can see it bigger on this screen. Who wants to put down how much the PlayStation 5 is going to cost? I'm going to bet $4.99 for the disc version, and either $450 or $400 for the discless. I don't know how much a disc drive is adding to the cost of the system. In fairness, they heartburn. In fairness, they also might undercut and like make the discless version even cheaper than it is cheaper to produce compared to the higher end version, because they want to funnel people into the discless ecosystem so they get a higher amount of money from those individuals. You know what I'm talking about? Here we go. Okay. It's starting, everyone.
Anything but inspect this temple of capital.
Thanks, the Mana King, for raiding. Go check out the Mana King.
Each time I awake, this planet seems somehow different.
Where are we?
You see things others can't.
Sense the power that flows through this land. Yet, you do not fully understand it.
But whatever comes, I will be ready.
PFT Neelix, thank you for following. I hope we get to see the black PlayStation 5 today, too. Because I think I want to get the black one and not the white one. They have said it'll come in black. Captured on PC emulating the PS5 experience. Ugh. Questionable. That always makes me think questionable, but okay.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant. And only the dominant.
How do we even know the girl will be among us?
Our kind do not question orders. We follow them.
Sergeant, let's summon their icon.
Icon? That thing's a bloody mountain.
I don't like JRPGs or things that look like JRPGs. I don't know why. It never connects with me.
Our foe will not really.
And the stories tend to be just stuff I don't like. I don't know.
Fight.
You should not be out of doors. We have discussed this. Come, Joshua. Your father will be expecting us.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to protect
Yeah,
him.
Final Fantasy something, I think. Could be wrong. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy. Never played one.
What do you mean you refuse? Did you
Again, because I don't like JRPGs. Or is it like a monster hunter thing? I don't know.
It was the Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms, was it not?
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our realm from the spread of the Blight.
Final Fantasy 16? Okay.
So, they sent in the Dragoons. Imperial Vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
I don't know why that's funny to me, but the kid getting splattered with blood, that was funny. Andrew Dickerson, if I was right, I deserved a gift sub. Subtle.
Second icon of fire. But that's impossible.
The legacy of the crystals. Has shaped our history. For long enough. I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
It's weird seeing anime-style characters, because obviously Final Fantasy characters get a lot of, like, anime influence, but it's also, like, realistic textures. It's kind of strange to see, like, anime-influenced character design put on realistic textured people. Okay, so everything from this point forward has been captured on PlayStation 5 systems, so the Final Fantasy thing was the only thing that's emulated. That's good. I'm glad they clarified that.
It's too cold to change out here.
Oh, yeah, so we're gonna see Miles Morales gameplay.
Dang, I'm late for Mom's rally.
I like his suit in this one. I like Miles Morales' suit in this more than I like Spider-Man's suit from the PlayStation 4 game. I didn't like the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man suit. It's the one suit I almost never use when I'm playing the game.
Come on, we're gonna be late. Hey! Dude, I am so filling your suit with snow. Are you still wearing your suit?
Yeah, you know, just in case.
It's gonna be fine. See, this is my favorite part of living in Harlem. Pop-up street fair, best food in the city, awesome music. Man, this would be great for the last beat I was working on. I should get back into mixing. Yeah, it's been a while.
So what do you think about Rio Morales? You gonna vote for her?
It's still hard to think of Mom as a politician. She's been a teacher my whole life. Similar skill sets, right? Corralling people, educating them, making sure they don't throw things at each other.
Roxxon. Is Roxxon gonna be the villains in this one?
Creative director at Insomniac Games. We're excited to show you this first look at gameplay from Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Our story picks up 1 year after the events of the first game, and we find Miles' new home, Harlem, is in danger. Trouble brews while Miles' mom, Rio Morales, leads an election rally. A war between the devious energy corporation Roxxon and the Underground. A high-tech criminal army led by the Tinkerer starts to break out. In this gameplay sequence, captured on PlayStation 5 hardware, the Underground attacks Roxxon, sending the rally into chaos in a fight that spills onto the Braithwaite Bridge, where the Underground tries to steal Roxxon's experimental energy.
It's a little on the nose suit-wise. Miles Morales' suit has always looked roughly like this in the comics, too. I haven't read Ultimate Spider-Man where he gets introduced, so I don't know the specifics, but I know he tries to wear a normal Spider-Man suit with the red and blue initially, and people don't like it because that's after Peter Parker's died, and they find it disrespectful, so he decides to wear that. I don't know what the justification will be in the game, though, because it's a different continuity.
Get rid of him. Then grab as much as you can carry. Keep him busy.
Okay, combat.
The bridge is coming down. I have to stop this.
Looks like they're going to be, as expected, integrating Miles' different powers into this one because he has slightly different powers than regular Spider-Man. He has sort of like a stinger thing where he can like shock people. Again, I haven't read a lot of Miles Morales. I don't know a ton about it, but I know he can turn invisible, and he has that thing that you're seeing where he can kind of zap people.
People are trapped over there. I have to push past these guys.
Looks fun. Looks like the Marvel Spider-Man. I mean, I like the first game and its combat, although it did get a little bit easy towards the end. The DLC basically fixed the difficulty by just making, like, almost cheap enemies with ridiculous amounts of, like, tech that made you have to take them out with, like, special moves every time, but I don't know. I just hope there's a little more variety in the combat in this one than there was, especially in the late game for PS4 Spider-Man. This is cool. Even though it's like basically a quick time sequence and you're just like doing stuff as button prompts, it looks like. I do like a little bit of this mixed in with the action-y fighting bits, because how else are you going to simulate doing this kind of Spider-Man stuff if it's not quick time events? I'd be open to someone coming up with a way to do it better, but I think that'd be very difficult to do in a way that's cinematic. I don't know. I understand if you don't like that stuff, though. Although the Spider-Man PS4 game did give you the option to turn off the quick-time events, and you could just watch them as cinematics if you're not into it, but I don't know. I think it's a fine compromise, considering you still want to be able to do this kind of Spider-Man stuff.
I can stop this!
Does Spider-Man have unlimited webs now? Spider-Man's web limitation has always only mattered as far as it serviced the plot. If the writer wants Spider-Man to have enough webs for a certain situation, Spider-Man always has that much webs. If it's dramatic for Spider-Man to be low on webs, then he's low on webs. It's not a consistent thing. Does Spider-Man have so much super strength he can move bridges? I mean, at his upper end, yeah. Spider-Man is, like, super, super strong. He's, like, really, really strong. When he's fighting thugs, they make a point to say that he pulls punches, because if he punched a thug as hard as he could, their head would pop. Like, this has been discussed in Spider-Man comics before. When Dr. Octopus takes over Peter Parker's body, he punches a guy in the head as hard as he can, not realizing... Oh no, it's the Harry Potter game. Okay. Not realizing that Peter Parker normally pulls his punches, and he, like, destroys the guy's face.
Beautiful and powerful binds together our long
I feel bad for the developers of this game because J.K. Rowling keeps tarnishing the Harry Potter brand with her stupid turf nonsense.
It is time to add your own story to these hallowed halls.
1800s Hogwarts.
And quite possibly shape the future of the wizarding world. Every corridor, every portrait, every stone in this castle tells the story of witches and wizards who came before.
This looks really, really good.
Here you will meet lifelong friends and grow into your own magical abilities in the classroom.
It's not an MMO, it's just an RPG. This has been rumored for a while.
And while your journey begins at Hogwarts, brewing potions, taming fantastic beasts,
there's nothing funny about
and
the tools
mastering spells.
The new Wizards 101 expansion looks great.
Beyond these walls.
Oh yeah! Flying on like a hippogriff.
You you can't yet imagine. An ancient knowledge long gone from this world.
Oh, that's cool.
That strange and mysterious talent you possess may be the key to unlocking this dormant power. Your potential is limitless. But what form will it take? The journey ahead will reveal what you stand for. The choices you make now will define the legacy of Hogwarts.
This game is gonna be huge. Do you know how many people have wanted like a Harry Potter RPG where it's like open world, you can go and explore the castle and do stuff? Like, I get it, J.K. Rowling's awful and everyone should continue to call her out on her BS, but I'm gonna play that game. It takes place in the 1800s, it said at the beginning of the trailer, so it's much prior to Harry Potter.
Hi everyone, I'm Dan Vondrak, Creative Director at Raven. One of our goals as developers is to bring the game world to life unlike anything you've ever experienced, and the PlayStation 5 is making that happen. With the power of the new console, we've been able to significantly enhance the overall experience. From what you see in the world, to how it feels in your hands, to what you hear around you. In Black Ops Cold War, you will be transported to the year 1981. In the middle of one of the most dangerous times the world has ever known, the height of the Cold War. The following is a portion of the first campaign mission where you've been given the name of a high-value target linked to the Iran hostage crisis. But in true Black Ops style, nothing is as it seems. Take a look.
I don't like the Call of Duty games.
How long
For one, I find them repetitive and I don't like the gameplay loop or the gameplay in general. Secondly, I don't like the glorification of the, like, United States military as it stands. Specifically, this one's especially about, like, Black Ops stuff during the Cold War. No thanks. I don't want to play War Crime Simulator. I'm fine.
Priority is to ID a rush before things go hot.
I haven't played a Call of Duty game since, I think, Modern Warfare 2, and I look at this and I go, yep, still the same thing. Walk around, have a rifle out the whole time, explore set pieces, and then there's a gunfight. Explore set pieces and have some discussion with your NPC people, and then there's a gunfight. I mean, if you boil any game down to that simplicity, it's gonna sound boring, but I don't know. I just don't get it. And I'm sure a lot of people are into these specifically for the PvP, but I hate PvP.
I don't want the fuck? He just iced everyone in a truck. That's gotta be a rush.
Hold fire. We need a positive ID. That's our man. Take him out.
Shooting! Shoot him! Ha ha ha! Look at me! Ha 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 ha! I don't care. Oh God! He put a grenade in his pocket. That's a weird tactic. And again, like in a game that's like set in a fantasy world or like is complete fiction, like I can get behind gratuitous violence, but this is literally like American military interventionism simulator, and the idea of being like, I'm a US Special Forces guy, let me stab this guy in the face and put a grenade in his pocket. It's just gross to me. It's just so gross. I don't know. Maybe that's a weird standard, but like, to me, there's a difference in the narrative that's being told between like something like this and something like, I don't know, a cyberpunk game or like a Fallout game. There's like an inherent political difference.
We hope you enjoyed that sneak peek at the campaign for Black Ops Cold War. There are many more twists and turns along the way as you begin to unravel the truth, and we can't wait for you to play it soon. In addition to the story campaign, Cold War features the next generation of multiplayer online combat and an all-new awesome zombies experience. Today, I have the special honor to announce on behalf of my friends at Treyarch that the PlayStation community doesn't have to wait to play multiplayer. Starting this Friday, PlayStation players will be able to play the multiplayer alpha exclusively on PlayStation 4. And for those of you that are watching at home on your PS4, you can preload the experience starting tomorrow.
Katsuyo Dragon
We can't
Neil with
wait
5
to see you
bits
online Friday
says, I've
and
almost
through the
given
weekend.
up on getting
Enjoy the rest of the
Digimon Survive news at this point, but I really hope we at least get the release date and it isn't delayed by COVID like the last date was. I'm not even familiar with that game. New Digimon by the sound of it, but I didn't even know there was a new Digimon game coming out.
All clear.
Come on, move! Chris? What the hell?
Take him away.
Resident Evil.
In life and in death, we give glory. The bell tolls for us all. They're coming again!
Mia.
Quit being so paranoid. Long ago, a young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her father, who was hard at work. But the forest greeted them with a dark, cold silence. The bushes empty. Yet determined to find the berries, the rascal broke free of Mother's grasp and vanished into the trees. Mother's worried cries faded fast as the girl ran on, over vine, under branch, and into the forest deep.
And in death, we give glory. Mother Miranda.
It's just a local tale.
I'm not big on horror games. If this has VR, then I'm on board. But if it's not, I'm not that into it. Resident Evil 8. Village.
If it's just looking, window shop away.
Okay, that'll probably be good. I don't know if I'll play it unless it comes out for VR. Ooh, I hope we get Horizon gameplay. Ooh, Deathloop. Deathloop looks so fun. I love Arcane Studios. They do really, really great stuff. Prey was amazing, and I really like the Dishonored games. And this is like a time loop game where you're like an assassin trying to escape a city.
You gotta learn how it works. Black Reef is a puzzle.
They said it as VR. Oh, cool.
And each visionary is a different piece. Here's Igor.
I am a respected scientist.
I've done so many loops, I've learned to run circles around him.
Why don't we ever have original games anymore? Where like XYZ8 or ABC23? Is it just me or this getting ridiculous? That's the case in like all forms of mass media, though. But like there are plenty. Look at this. This is a new game. Deathloop. Bug Snacks is a new game. Horizon is only on its second game. That was an original IP last generation or this generation. So, like, we get plenty of new games all the time. I'd say the game industry has more
one by one,
originality in terms of titles than the movie industry.
Never enough time. I go after one, another lives. Because right now, half an island away, a different visionary is throwing his nightly cannibal masquerade. Alexis Dorsey.
Everybody shut up! This is my jam.
Igor is a big fan, yet somehow he never makes it to the party. Something keeps him home.
Colt, you there, buddy?
Here's the invite to the party. And here's why Igor blew it off. He made some kind of scientific breakthrough that morning.
I did it! I did it, it works!
That he makes every morning. Unless I get there first.
Basically, this looks like Dishonored with a time loop gimmick. And I'm all for that. I love the Dishonored games.
No breakthrough.
Like, if you told me this was like a sequel to Dishonored, I'd be like, okay. It looks like it.
Now I got a shot at killing them both at the same time. In the same loop.
Is that Colt? Hey, Wolf! It's time to hunt pig! Colt, I'm talking about you, baby! Come on, Blake!
Jim Sterling voice. AAA video game industry is fucked! Yeah. I like Jim Sterling.
A little help here!
I'm all over this game. This is right up my alley.
Targets on my list. Every one of them with grand plans for eternal life. To break the loop, I gotta break the rules. Clock's ticking.
And you just ran out of time. You keep forgetting, Colt. I'm not like those other idiots. Only got one name on my list. Yours.
Get a capture card and stream it. I mean, I can stream. Oh, it is. Is it a PlayStation console exclusive? It is. I can play like a PlayStation 4 thing on Twitch natively with the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5. Like, you can do that. I've streamed a game before. I just choose not to do it. I'm not a good game streamer. I can't play a game competently and speak in an entertaining way at the same time. I'm just not good at it. I might do it eventually just for funsies, but it's not something that's my forte, that's for sure.
That day, if our positions were switched, would our fates be different? Would I have your life and you mine? You a demon?
It is a talent. Like people make fun of certain like game streamers or game streaming in general. Like, oh, they just get paid to play video games. No. Like, streaming, playing the game in an entertaining way while also being able to engage with your audience in a genuine or at least a facsimile of being genuine is a talent, and if people are like really good at that, it's worthy of the money they're probably getting paid for. Like, that's tough. Anyone can play video games, but to play video games in such a way as to get other people to watch you play them, I mean, that's a skill, right? I don't know. Fine if you disagree, that's just how I see it.
Rest in peace.
Because this is Devil May Cry or whatever. I've never played Devil May Cry either.
Devil May Cry.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Was that a JoJo reference? I have no idea. I've never seen JoJo. The character seen here is Virgil, voiced by the Time Force Quantum Ranger. Oh, it does sound like him. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
What are they doing? Did those fugitive morons burn down their own hideout?
It sounds idiotic, but that's exactly what it looks like.
Have I played Power Rangers Battle for the Grid? Yeah, it's fun. I have it.
Hi, I'm Lorne Lanning, creative director of Oddworld Soulstorm, and we're excited to bring you an all-new exclusive trailer from the game. Here, our unlikely hero, Abe, finds himself fresh off the back of freeing his people from the nefarious Rupture Farms. He thinks the journey is over, but soon discovers it has only just begun. The stakes are higher, the threats are larger, the obstacles are more devious, and it's all made possible by the power of PlayStation 5. Enjoy.
Not letting that Abe guy get away from us again.
It's like a platformer, like a 2.5D platformer. I've never played these.
Hey, why the hold up? I could go for a sandwich right now. We gotta get out of here. Come on, let's get out of here. My tummy's growling. I'm hungry.
I want to see some Horizon gameplay.
Gregory, your friends are worried about you. They're here with me. Please, come out. Gregory, I may have lost my temper earlier, but it was just a glitch. It won't happen again. It's been such a difficult day for all of us.
This is giving me Portal
Why don't you
vibes.
come out and we can play a game together? It won't happen again.
Oh god, is this like a full Five Nights at Freddy's game that's like a full like game that you actually go through stuff and explore?
Be still. I think she's found us.
Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. Because it looked they were full 3D environments, which the Five Nights at Freddy's games haven't had, as far as I know. So did someone license it and make a real, I shouldn't say real game, but like a game where you actually walk through environments? That's kind of interesting. I haven't played Five Nights at Freddy's since the second one. I might actually have to check that out.
Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended.
Is this like a Souls game or something? Looks a little bit like one, but I haven't really played those. Looks good in terms of like physics and graphics, like the scarf bouncing as he walks along and it's not like clipping too much. Pretty good. The particle effects when he teleported there were pretty cool. Good sound design as he walked through that puddle. Sounded very splooshy. Oh yeah, and when he walked on the wood, yeah, that was good. If this is a Souls game, it looks very easy, which is weird because Soul games are supposed to be really, really hard, right? Is this something else that I'm not familiar with? Because he's like one-shotting enemies. Tutorial of Demon Souls? Okay. Oh, is this like a remake? This is a remake of an earlier game? Oh my god, the physics on that thing are beautiful. It's so globby, and when it moves, everything moves, and it looks like it's correctly moving. That's great. Oh, and like the weird like nipples that it has, like on its like stomach right there. Yeah, that looks great. Oh, and the chains too. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Wow. This game is beautiful. I'll never play it because I hate difficult games. Like, if you like them and that's what you get on a game, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. I can't do it. I can't do it. I play games on normal easy mode just because I can't deal with the frustration. That's not fun to me.
I shall await thy return, Slayer of Demons.
Demon's Souls. They can run this on consoles? Yeah, it's a PlayStation 5 game. Oh, Fortnite. Okay. I got nothing against Fortnite. It's not for me, but it's popular for a reason. People like it. Go for it. That's not surprising, but at least it was a brief trailer. The PlayStation Plus collection. Are they making changes to PlayStation Plus? That'd be good, because currently it doesn't work very well. And there aren't enough titles. New PlayStation Plus benefit for PlayStation 5.
Can you kill something that big?
Or PlayStation Now, I guess, is what I was thinking. Oh, are they just adding games to... If you have PlayStation Plus, you can play a bunch of these games with your subscription? That'd be cool. Fallout 4 is part of it. Mortal Kombat 10, Uncharted 4. Okay. Trying to compete with Xbox Game Pass, basically. I just got Days Gone in a sale. It was $20. I haven't played much of it yet, though.
My name is Marcus.
My name is
Detroit
Cora.
Become Human. That game's fun if you like the story-driven games. They might be combining the two. Honestly, good. That would make sense. Infamous Second Son, it's an okay game. It's a little bare bones. It was a PS4 launch title.
After all we've been through.
Last of Us Remastered, a game I still haven't played, even though I've been told it's great.
It's time.
Persona. Resident Evil 7, which is great. I haven't played the God of War game that came out in the last couple years, too. I guess I can get a chance to now. That's cool. It's a good move considering how popular Xbox Game Pass has been. Xbox Games Pass has been. Hopefully they'll continue to update their collection and put more and more games on it as time goes on. Like eventually putting Spider-Man on there would be huge because that's such a popular game. Or the first Horizon would be good. Basically any of the big PlayStation exclusives if they put on there. Which Xbox already does, so. Xbox Game Pass, you get all the exclusive Xbox games like the day of release, I think.
There's nothing funny about the
Kids these days will get to play real war games if things keep heading where they've been heading, just saying. It's probably almost over. They might be doing the price reveal right now. Which would probably be the last thing they do. And then we'll move on. We'll do a wheel stream after this is done. Yeah, they're gonna show the price. Probably. Okay, yeah, that's about what I expected. $4.99 for the disc, $3.99 for the discless. November 12th. Okay.
So now you know. Thank you all for joining us today and for being part of this amazing journey. It's your passion as fans of gaming that drives us to deliver a truly new generation of experiences on PS5. From everyone at PlayStation, we appreciate your continued support, and we look forward to you getting your hands on PS5 very soon. To close, let me leave you with one more quick look.
Get it for you for your birthday. I gotta get me one, though. I'm making you a cake on your birthday. That plus whatever else I get you.
Time draws near.
I already know what I think I know what I'm getting you for your birthday, Baja. God of War Ragnarok. Gonna kill Norse gods. Okay.
Let's go.
My head's up, I stay strong, forever young, may you live long. With perseverance, hold on and stand tall. Never back down with my back against the wall. Never hold me back. Nothing. I'm unstoppable.
I'm gonna mute because of the music. I don't know. I think the games look good. I think a lot of the games look good. I don't know if I'll get a PlayStation 5 right away, but I'll get it in the first year, I'm sure. This was fine. Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. A lot of the stuff looked good. Some of the physics stuff I saw shown off was promising, and it shows that, like, cool real-time physics simulations are probably going to be the most noticeable leap. Like, when I'm talking about physics, I'm also including stuff like dynamic lighting, but, you know. Like, actual character models, I don't think are going to change a ton this generation, though I could be wrong. These are the early on. Who knows what they'll look like 8 years from now. Because early PlayStation 4 titles don't look like late PlayStation 4 titles, and I'm sure early PlayStation 5 titles won't look as good as late PlayStation 5 titles. But I think character models aren't going to get that much better, but what is going to get better is dynamic physics and stuff like that. And that's cool. I like that kind of stuff. So, overall, I enjoyed this presentation. It was good. Not a big fan of JRPGs, and there was a decent number of those, but hey, not everything is meant, you know, to be for you or for me or whatever. A lot of people like those games, so. Either way, excited for PlayStation 5. $4.99. I'm definitely getting the disc version, because I want to be able to buy used games if I want. And also, it's a 4K Blu-ray player, and I'm a big fan of physical media, so. At minimum, I'm getting it for the Blu-ray player, the 4K Blu-ray player. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. People in the chat saying, rip Xbox, oh children. I know, I find it stupid. Who cares? I don't like anyone who's... I shouldn't say I don't like anyone. I don't like when people are like, oh, console wars. Oh, I want... Like, who cares? Like, if you prefer one over the other, that's cool. But they're just, like, consumer products. Why are you going to bat for a private corporation? It's so stupid. What are JRPGs? Japanese role-playing games. Like Final Fantasy is a JRPG. Anyway, that's it for that. So, now we're going to be doing... How long have we been going? We've been going for about an hour. First hour's that, and then, we're going to do a wheel stream. So on the wheel, we have Karens, Sovereign Citizens, Conspiracy, Creationism, Cringe, and Chuds. So I guess we'll let the wheel decide what we start to watch. We must defend our clan. Yeah. Sovereign Citizen. Okay. Let's find a Sovereign Citizen.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Hannah, I swear I'll get you to play Yakuza 0 if I have to buy it for you myself. I doubt it. I doubt I will ever play that game. What the heck was I gonna search? Sovereign Citizen. Let's look in court. Let's look at some court Sovereign Citizens. Are there any more recent ones, maybe? Oh no. How about this one? This one's a Moorish citizen, which is sort of a cousin of Sovereign Citizens. Yeah, they released the price. The PlayStation 5 is $499 for the disc version and $399 for the discless version. Do I think consoles will reach a 1K in price? I mean, eventually. That's how inflation works. Yeah. With inflation, probably. I'd imagine if we're talking about, like, relative to buying power, I think consoles will probably stay around the same price. Like, $500 today is probably around $400 10, 15 years ago. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Inflation calculator. What year did the PS4 release date? PS4 released in November 5th, 2013. 2013, $399, $445. So it's up a little bit, but not a ton. Like so if we're talking about the discless version of the PlayStation 5, it's actually cheaper relative to inflation than the PlayStation 4 was at launch by $45. And the disc version is just $55 more expensive. So, things haven't changed that much, you know? I think consoles will probably stay around that price point relative to inflation, between what we consider now the $405, $500 range. Or if it's something like the Nintendo Switch, $300, $350. But yeah, with inflation, eventually it'll be $1,000.
When people were known by different tribes and tongues and flags. So that's what the Prophet Noble Ali wanted to drive home and keep out front. So you don't need to operate under a granted privilege. So some people, like I say, the newbies are saying, oh, well, we sovereign and indigenous. And you got to understand who you are saying that to and for what reason. And the reason why I say that is this. Number one, I'm not sure what a sovereign citizen is in America.
Okay. So this guy doesn't necessarily ascribe sovereign citizen. I assume he's a Moorish citizen based on the hat. They normally wear hats like that when they're talking about stuff like this. Not always, not in public, but I'm saying this is the fez is like you can see it in the painting back here too. Moorish citizens, when they're like doing Moorish temple things, will wear like fezzes and stuff because they think the United States is Morocco. I've explained this, and no matter how many times I explain this, it doesn't make sense. But basically, Moorish citizens believe that African American individuals are actually secretly the indigenous population of the United States. They believe that Native Americans are also black, and that all black people in the United States that have roots here aren't here because they're the descendants of the horrific crime of chattel slavery, but instead, that actually didn't happen the way that it was said, and instead, white people came and took over the country from black people who they claim were the indigenous citizens. And they believed that at the time, before white people came, America was called Morocco. So they believed that Morocco is America secretly, and that it's just been hidden, even though there is an actual Morocco that actually exists. Anyway.
I'm not sure.
And people think when they're using sovereign, it means they're not subject to certain laws and regulations and enforcement by the police in particular. Like they're gonna get hey, I don't have to obey this law, I don't have to show you ID. Well, that's not true.
No, let me tell you, see, you gotta be careful, because some of it is true, some of it's not true.
Oh, God. So he starts off good. He starts off good by saying, I don't even know what these sovereign citizens are, clearly separating himself from sovereign citizens and claiming that they're, ridiculous. Now that it's been explained to him what sovereign citizens believe, that you don't have to show the cops ID and that laws don't apply to you, now he's like, wait a minute, That sounds like what I believe. I better start defending this. Because even though Moorish citizens and tons of Moorish citizens, if you say, oh, you're like a sovereign citizen, they'll get offended. Like, they'll disagree with you and be like, I'm not a sovereign citizen. Because the Moorish citizen movement, even though it's not technically sovereign citizens, they don't self-ascribe that label. A ton of the beliefs of Moorish citizens, at least those that are in relation to their relationship with the government, when they like think that they don't have to pay taxes or think that they don't have to obey like United States law, a lot of that was straight up ripped off of sovereign citizen movements from like the 70s and stuff. A lot of people who are Moorish citizens don't know that, and they don't know the origin of these beliefs, but nonetheless, that is where they came from. Which is ironic, too, considering that the sovereign citizen movement was, like, part of a white supremacist cult organization, and yet so many of those beliefs wound up, like, getting straight up lifted into the Moorish citizen movement. Very, very weird stuff.
Certain states, you don't have to show ID. See, that's part of the law. Certain states...
No, there's no state in the 50 states where if the cops come and are like... specifically, traffic stop. If you're stopped in a traffic stop and the cop asks for your ID, you are required to give it. You're required to give it. If you're walking down the street and you're doing nothing that promotes suspicion and a cop asks for your ID, I think that depends on the state. I think that's called stop an ID, and that's going to be dependent. But like in a traffic stop everywhere, the cops can ask for your identification.
You don't have to show ID.
Certain states.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to abide by the law. So whatever the law is, the same law that you think is going to protect you, the only way you can get that protection, you have to be a citizen to get the protection.
At least he understands that. At least he knows that, like, if you're claiming you have the rights of a citizen, then you have the responsibilities of a citizen, and those include following the law. Good for him.
Because if you are a non-citizen, that protection is not afforded to you. People talking about, yes, it is. Well, then they wouldn't have all the people that they had.
Did I hear about traffic
Bay.
stops
They
dropping
wouldn't have been
80% after George Floyd's death?
They would
No,
have
I
been
didn't.
protected under the American Constitution. But you had to be a citizen to be protected under the American Constitution. When they were at war, you were in another country. You wasn't protected by the American Constitution, so they had to come up with something. The Geneva Convention, they come up and say, hey, these going to be the rules of engagement when we have war. You don't do this to our people. We don't do that to your people. See, you mentioned that. And now let me give you a bit of this. I joined the Moorish Science Temple of America in 1980.
Isn't it always interesting when organizations just throw science in their name to try and give themselves legitimacy, like Christian Scientists or the Moorish, like, what did they call it? The Moorish Science Temple? Like, it has nothing to do with science. They just think that throwing science in the name of their organization makes them sound more legit, and that's always funny. Scientologists, same thing.
Actually learn a little bit about the doctrines, and I think I joined the Moorish Science Temple of America, I want to say maybe around June of 1980. And then studying the teachings of the prophet along with other histories, I understood our position here in America. The prophet, in fact, spoke about us being good American citizens. All right, so now we have to look at in the last, I want to say maybe within the last 15 to 20 years, it has been a new surge of identity. It has been a surge of identity profiling and identity theft in regards to the Moorish Science Temple of America. When people, I call them newbies, almost like millennials.
Millennials, for the last time, millennials are in their 30s and 40s and late 20s. Stop thinking millennial means teenager.
They want to come and say, being a Moorish American or being a Moor, you are not a part of the government at hand, the USA government or the Republic government, that they in fact are sovereign from the government. That's not the position of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Let me make it clear. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali is not the founder of Moors. He is the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The people have they tried to use Prophet Noble Drew Ali, since he is the one who laid the foundation for us being Moorish Americans in this country. They want to try to build a whole bunch of fallacies on top of what he left. And they want to try to make it appear that the information that he left is so ambiguous that you have to be some type of scholar.
They have a prophet? Oh boy. Yeah, let's take a look. Moorish Science Temple of America. Let's see if they have a Wikipedia page. Wikipedia. Thanks, Wikipedia. Hey, donate to Wikipedia. They're doing their thing. I'll donate to them later when I can put in information without, you know, having it be on screen. But you should donate to Wikipedia so they remain, you know, ad-free. Moorish Science Temple of America. The Moorish Science Temple of America is an American national and religious organization founded by Noble Drew Ali. He based it on the premise that African Americans are descendants of the Moabites and thus are Moorish, sometimes also spelled Moorish by adherents. By nationality and Islamic by faith, Ali put together elements of major traditions to develop a message of personal transformation through historical education, racial pride, and spiritual uplift. His doctrine was also intended to provide African Americans with a sense of identity in the world and to promote civic involvement. One primary tenet of the Moorish Science Temple is the belief that African Americans are of Moorish descent, specifically from the Moroccan Empire. According to Ali, this area included other countries that today surround Morocco. To join the movement, individuals had to proclaim their Moorish nationality. They were given nationality cards and religious texts. Adherents refer to themselves racially as Asiatics, as the Middle Eastern were also Western Asia. Adherents of the movement are known as Moorish American Muslims and are called Moorish scientists in some circles. God, can we stop ascribing scientists to people who aren't scientists? That'd be great. The Moorish Science Temple of America was incorporated under the Illinois Religious Corporations Act 805 LCS 110. Timothy Drew, known to its members as Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founded the Moorish Temple of America in 1913 in Newark, New Jersey, a booming industrial city. After some difficulties, Ali moved to Chicago, establishing a center there, as well as temples in other major cities. The movement expanded rapidly during the 20s. The quick expansion of the Moorish Science Temple arose in large part from the search for identity and context among Black Americans at a time of the Great Migration to northern and midwestern cities, as they were becoming an urbanized people. Batty Bell, thank you for subscribing. Competing factions developed among the congregations and leaders, especially after the death of the charismatic Ali. 3 independent organizations developed from this ferment. The founding of the Nation of Islam by Wallace Fard Muhammad in the 30s, also competed for the members. The 30s membership was estimated at 30,000, with 1/3 in Chicago. During the post-war years, the Moorish Science Temple of America continued to increase its membership, albeit at a slower rate. So that's a little bit about the Moorish Science Temple. Looks like the official church stance isn't that America is, or was, what's the name of the place? I forgot already. Morocco. But a lot of the adherents, at least that I've seen online and sort of the sovereign citizen circles, claim that to be the case. So it's possible that's more of a radical offshoot, which is probably what he's talking about when he's talking about, like, these young new people who claim to be Moorish citizens or whatever.
To figure, or some type of, you have to know some type of Da Vinci code to figure out what he said. Oh, well, he didn't really mean that. He meant exactly what he said because he was speaking to the common people. He wasn't speaking to real sophisticated individuals with a lot of smoke and mirrors and clandestine behavior. No, he wanted to be plain to the common people. These newbies thinking that this is just a blow up, Okay, I don't know how I'm wearing this. And this is the blow up of the nationality. You see what this is, what Prophet Noble Drew Ali like. You know, your information goes on these lines. And then he's...
Oh, this is hard to read. Because of the glare, this is your national identification card for the Moorish Science Temple of America and birth rights for the Moorish Americans. We honor all the divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. It's an interesting mix of prophets. May the blessings of the... I can't read over the glare. That you are a Muslim under the divine laws. Blah, blah, blah. Something, something Mecca. Love, truth, peace, freedom. Something, something, something. I am a citizen of the USA.
States right here.
Looks like basically a card that if you're in the Moorish Science Temple, this is your, like, membership card or something.
I am a citizen of the U.S.A. Right. That's what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali stated. Because he also stated in our divine constitution and bylaws that we are organization. We are our organization. Act 5 of the divine constitution and bylaws, it says, this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of said government, but to obey hereby.
Bible verse. That's the end of the video. Very strange. Very, very strange. At least this person, like, recognizes... I don't know why they're even putting them under the Sovereign Citizen playlist. This is from the same channel that I watch a lot of the Sovereign Citizen stuff on. I mean, he's part of the Moorish Science Temple, and we can all have our various opinions on it, and whatever. But, like, he doesn't seem to be a sovereign citizen and not one of the Moorish citizens that ascribes to sovereign citizen stuff. He's very clearly stating in the video that he disagrees with that, right? He's saying that the people who call themselves Moorish citizens but ascribe to all of these sovereign citizen beliefs are harming their movement. Which, hey, yeah, you're probably right. Interesting nonetheless. Let's see what's next. Cringe, okay. YouTube, let's find some cringe. Cringe compilation volume 25.
From CBS, so Avneet, walk us through what happened, would you?
I think we saw that part, so we can just skip over.
Around this time last
Not Kick-Assia. We watched the entirety of Kick-Assia last Sunday, so I'm not watching that again, probably ever. Stealthing in real life. Oh, no. This is... I'm so glad that during my high school years, like, people didn't film things constantly. Like, there was a little bit of that, but not, like, as much as there is now. Still, I have a lot of embarrassing stuff on the internet, considering how long I've been on it, but, you know. That kind of comes with the territory. But not this. Not this.
All of it, you can throw away funds for all of this, because you'll never see it again. Maybe else. 3. Okay. What are you doing? Ambush! Eviscerate! Vanish!
Oh no. He's gonna have a hard time living this one down.
Making a video, obviously. Okay. Wow. Just have random people just come in here and do this? Where are you kids? really random.
Something that you will know about, and I'm sure you will want to comment on, is Tony Abbott. I can see that you're wearing your NHS Pride badge. I wear mine with pride, is what you've tweeted previously. Tony Abbott, who was the former Prime Minister of Australia, some suggesting that he may well be potentially a UK trade ambassador. He says he feels threatened by homosexuality. He also says elderly people should have been left to die naturally from COVID, and men are better set to exercise authority than women. Is he the right sort of person to represent us?
Well, as far as I understand it, the proposal is that Mr. Abbott supports the UK on trade policy, which is an area in which he's got a huge amount of expertise. You know, I bow to nobody in my
not what was asked.
support for everybody to love who they love, whoever that is, well, as you know, and as we've talked about a lot, but I think, you know, we need to have the best experts in the world working in their field. And as the former Prime Minister of Australia, obviously Mr. Abbott has got a huge amount of experience.
Even if he's a homophobic misogynist?
Well, I think that is. I don't think that's true. I haven't seen any.
I've just told you what he said. I'm sure you don't.
You know, honestly, every time I see British reporters, it makes me embarrassed for American reporters. Have you noticed that British reporters, if like someone tries to be slimy and sidestep a question, they say like, that's actually not what was said, or if they try and like deny what was just said to them, they say like, no, this is a quote. Whereas US reporters just like let it go. Why do US reporters have like no spine most of the time? It's so weird.
Support some of his comments. He's a homophobe and he's a misogynist.
Well, he's also an expert in trade.
So one plays off against the other? Really? Is that really what you're saying, Health Secretary? Come on.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that we need experts in different areas, and somebody who's the former Prime Minister of Australia is obviously an enormous expert in the field of trade. It doesn't change my views.
Okay, so we can forgive his comments about women and about letting the elderly die of COVID-19 and about his views on the gay community, even though I believe his sister is gay. We can forgive all of that because he's good at trade.
Well, you know, I'm doing everything in my power to prevent a second wave and protect people from coronavirus.
Health Secretary, it's not my question. We've spent 8 minutes talking about that. I'm asking you about whether this is a fit and proper person to represent us as far as trade is concerned, given the views that he holds.
Well, look, I think, Kay, the best thing to say is that I am totally focused on the coronavirus crisis and the future of the NHS and of social care. That is my area, right? I do know that Mr. Abbott is very good and very experienced in trade. It is clearly a very important decision that the Prime Minister and the Trade Secretary are across, because we do want experts, absolutely, and people who have huge experience, especially when we're putting together an area of policy in trade that, frankly, has been given over to the EU for the last 35 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a good reason there. But you know, but I've been obviously totally focused on the health area, as you'll entirely understand.
I put it to the former Health Secretary yesterday, and I put it to you as well as a forward-thinking 21st century man. You might have a view on that. You obviously don't.
I want to start by thanking Harvey Weinstein for...
Oh no, Michelle Obama, don't do that.
For organizing
Yikes.
This amazing day. Harvey. This is possible because of Harvey. He is a wonderful human being, a good friend, and just a powerhouse. Harvey developed a love of reading and a knack for finding good stories, a skill he has used every day for decades. Experience.
MMO Addicted with 10 bits. Hey there, how did you like the showcase? Hey, I know the Harry Potter game could be interesting, even if the supporting Rowling in any way leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I've wanted a proper RPG in that setting for a while, and oof, that did not age well. Yeah, I think the Harry Potter game looks fun. I'll still probably get it even though J.K. Rowling's a shit. I'll continue to talk about how she's a shit, but, you know, that's not the developer of the game's fault. I don't know. And yeah, this is aged so fucking poorly.
Helps to transform you and solidify in your minds that you have everything you need to be successful. All right? So, I want you guys to relax, shake it off, because I want you to use this time. Don't be shy.
Girl pretends to be guy to prove people laugh at men more. Oh no.
Barney Mac, nice to meet you.
What is it?
I have a Comedy Central, a half-hour special, and I'm also the voice of Lenny on the Cartoon Network, Joy Cab.
All right, well, let me write all this down.
Okay. Can I get some change for that?
Do what you do.
That's a terrible disguise. Oh god. Oh
There's
no.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
MMO addicted. Yeah, that's my take too, and I'm pretty sure she was paid for licensing fee already. I doubt she has a per copy sold game as she has for the books. It was like a one-time fee, probably. I don't know though.
Quit picking pushy hairs out of your tongue.
I can't help it. I never buy any product that have been tested on animals.
That's right.
Oh god. Nope. Even I can't do that one. Oh god. I don't know what he's about to do, but I'm sure it's gonna be real bad. You know, I get having some fun, but like, if you're in a college classroom and you're gonna do a prank that's gonna just annoy everyone or stop the class, maybe rethink it. This isn't high school where everyone's being forced to be there and they're just bored anyway. This is a college where people are spending thousands and thousands of dollars of money to take these classes. Not great.
Hold your brow! Hold your brow! See in your eyes the same tears would take the heart of me. The day may come when the strength of men fails.
Oh god, no, don't. He's giving a Lord of the Rings speech that I have to skip over because it's using Lord of the Rings music.
Splash! You feel good?
Iggy Azalea, horrible freestyle rap.
I feel fucking hot. Tire marks. Finish line with fire marks. When the relay starts to move on the way train. Master, she know the pants got spit like a plaster. Raptor, bench her deal like gold, like Dasher, faster, motorbike faster. You gotta get a bitch, pass to the rapture. White bitch go back the blow like a wind. Perhaps your rooftop of the wind. When I win, no when I win a leg up like she ain't got hoes on call. Got hoes on call to come through, take a protocol.
I mean, her diction isn't great, but it sounds like with whatever she's trying to say, she's rhyming and she's speaking fast. I get that it's hard to understand, but...
Imaging, that's my protocol. These many Australians are sauce and no camera. I don't care who you are. No killer rap, gotta give it to you raw. Pitch one point, when the pass me a joint, gotta twist this beat. I'm spraying my joint. Straight crack rap. One till the pop pop. Who know to the rap city? No diggy ass. Shorty do it. I'm roll no diggle from motherfucking neck. It's Iggy, not Jiggle.
For tonight, UWS and CSS will meet in men's soccer. Last time they played, they tied 1-1. So hopefully they don't tie again because no one likes ties. Yeah, always
There's
win.
nothing
I mean, I
funny
like
about
both.
the tools of capitalism.
That's why you got a new one. Yeah, it's
You look like a birthday present and all that.
Thank you. So, you want to open me? Find out what's in?
I don't know. I guess no comment.
I think it's just best we go. We'll be right back. Well, I told him it was
She's dating her 19-year-old son. What was that? It was someone rapping, and they were doing not a great job.
At first, I told Carlos that I'm sorry. I don't know how you react to this. I'm your mom, and you're my son, and I am falling in love with him.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no. Ah. I misinterpreted what the title of this meant. Oh, no. Ah! There's no way grooming was not involved in this situation, right? Right? This is awful.
He said, "Are you really?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "You know what? I was scared to let you know too. I am too." He was too, falling in love with me, with his mom, and I was falling in love with my son.
There's
And
nothing
then
funny about the
we ended
tools
up
of
talking,
capitalism.
and we took off to the park, and we ended up asked him, "Will you ever date your mom?"
MMO addicted with 10 bits, barf. Yeah, mega barf. What the hell?
And he said, "Will you date your son?" I said, "Honest truth, yes, I would. Because 19 years, you're the best thing that ever happened to me, and I really want to be with you the rest of my life." And I really want to be with them. It's kind of hard right now, but I don't care what people say, because we're going through a lot right now. We try to keep it a secret, but we couldn't do it no more, because, you know, my other kids found out. At first, they didn't like it. Then they started liking it. They're accepting it. And my mom, my dad, my brothers, my family's accepting it now. This girl found out. So it's across the street from me, and there's a big old fight started, and she called me. She told my son Joseph something and let me know across the street, and she told me I better watch my back, because I'm being incest. I'm not being
There's nothing
incest.
funny about the
And
tools
she
of
was outside
capitalism.
cussing me out, so I went and go get everybody out of my house, and she got her
Skip. I can't. It's like a train wreck. I can't look away.
family.
I'm gonna
We
have
got
to take a
stabbed.
Q-tip that's like this long and clean the inside of my brain after this. Why? Why?
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Oh,
capitalism.
God. Mercy. Mercy. There's no mercy in this dojo.
Beaten up, jumped. Ambulance showed up. It was me, Carlos, and the kid's uncle got stabbed because the incest. Because she made a big deal out of all of this. So we went to the hospital. We got stitches. Came back home, and on that side, her family didn't get arrested at all. So I don't know why nobody didn't get arrested at the time. So we came back home, took a shower. The cops took, first the cops at the hospital, the cops took pictures of where we got cut, sliced. And after that, we came home, took a shower and stuff. Then we sat back, and I broke down crying. I
There's
told
nothing funny
Carlos,
about
what
the
we're going
tools
to
of
do is
capitalism.
going to hit all over the world. I said, there ain't no way I can leave you. And he said, don't worry, I'm going to still be with you, no matter through thick and thin. And that's what we're going through right now, through the thick.
There's nothing funny about the
And
tools of
I'm going to still be
capitalism.
with him. I have to. I'm going to have to, because there ain't no, if I get out of prison, and if he don't get sentenced, if I get in prison, if I get out, I will move out of Clovis, and I will get a state that will accept us in it.
Is that legal? I don't think there's anywhere where this is legal.
On the streets and in public. And it's kind of hard because it's public record here in Clovis. They can find out where I live and stuff. And this is going through a lot. And I really can't go to the store. I can't go public. I can't see my other kids. I can't see him. They call me, I'm sick. I'm incest.
Yeah. Like, even if you don't like being told that you're doing incest, that's literally the definition of the word. That's what you're doing. And yeah, if you find yourself attracted to your own son, you have problems. And like, even beyond that, not only just feeling that way, but then you act on it, and then you start dating your own kid. What the fuck? I don't have words for how messed up this is. MMO addicted. If I could make memes, I'd put Trump's face over Palpatine and Ivanka on the side captioned, "I will make it legal," in response to that question. Like, there's zero chance there was not grooming going on here, right? Why else would this 19-year-old be so willing to, like, get on board with this? There's no way there was not grooming going on before this kid was legal. Zero chance.
And it hurts a lot. And you know what I mean? It messes with my mind a lot. The other moms don't understand. They're not going through what I'm going through. It'd be different if they were. Like I said, I didn't raise them for 19 years. It feels like a new person, and my love like came back like in my life. I've been waiting for all these years. It feels like he's my man, and he does, you know what I mean? Sometimes I call him Hinojito, as that means son in English. And he sometimes, once in a while, he calls me mom. You know what I mean? It don't get to him or get to me. Actually, it feels like more than his lover, because it got so deep. And it feels kind of, at first kind of felt weird, but now it don't feel weird at all to me because I love him so much.
Who made the first approach was actually me. What happened was we were hanging out and, you know, just talking, you know, just laughing, and I looked at her and she looked at me, and I kissed her. It was a real kiss. It had feelings behind it. It had a spark in that. Ever since then, it just, you know, it just stayed. Honestly, I really didn't think we would. We were both consenting adults. If it comes down to it, you know, it's just like the gays. They're you know, as long as they're over 18, everything's fine. You know what I mean?
Let's not compare this to people who are gay. Really, you dirtbag.
So I thought, you know, I'm 18. She's 8. You know, well, I'm 19. I actually came down when I was 19. But you know, she's an adult. I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. I never thought it would blow up into something like this. Honestly, if it wasn't that strong, we wouldn't be together right now. We are together, but we're not. We can't really see each other, but in my heart, I know that we're still together. And I still love her with all my heart. If I had the opportunity to leave all this behind during the courts and move back to Utah, but I stayed. I had every chance I had, you know. After 19 years, you know, all the questions, everything got to me, and I had a plane ticket, and I was about to leave, but I couldn't. Every single time I thought about it, I kept on thinking about her, and I couldn't leave. I couldn't.
That's like the worst thing I've seen ever on this show. That was disgusting. Oh my god. You know, that's on the wheel. That one's not on me. That's on the wheel for making us watch that. Oh god. Chuds. Okay. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's a forum post about Jeremy that I was using for a different thing. The quartering. Oh god, Jeremy's talking about J.K. Rowling's new transphobic book. Dare we? Or is there something else we can watch instead? Fine, we'll do the quartering. And so this is the quarterings video on J.K. Rowling and her new book. So for those of you who don't know, J.K. Rowling's new book is about a cis man who wears women's clothing in order to kill them. Now, a lot of people, and of course this is transphobic, but a lot of people are like, it's not about trans people. Why are you calling it transphobic? Because J.K. Rowling has made it very clear, not only in her tweets, but in the long essay that she wrote about trans people, that she doesn't see a difference between cis men wearing women's clothing and trans people. So even though, yes, cis men wearing women's clothing is not the same thing as trans people, to J.K. Rowling, they are the same thing. And that's the issue. Okay? She's using this as like a weird vilification to be like, watch out, women, you see that trans woman? Well, secretly, she's just a cis man wearing women's clothes that's gonna follow you into the bathroom and murder you. And I would bet $1,000 that in J.K. Rowling's book, there'll be at least one murder that takes place in a women's bathroom. Anyway, so obviously this is incredibly transphobic. Jeremy here, reasonable as always, is probably going to go to J.K. Rowling's defense. So let's see. He's going to be obtuse, is my guess, and he's going to be like, well, it's about a cis man, not about a trans woman, even though J.K. Rowling has made it clear that she doesn't think trans women even exist. MMO addicted. Jeremy looking rough. Wonder if his wife left him yet. She should. For her own mental health.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and J.K. Rowling is up to it again. The woman can't win. Every time she opens her mouth, she's angering lots of people, and I'm not exactly sure.
That's because she keeps saying dumb, awful things. If she would say nice things, or just neutral things, people wouldn't care. Like, the reason she's getting shit is because she's transphobic and keeps doing the transphobia. Logarth, meanwhile, Jeremy looks like a guy that would go into a woman's restroom to perv on people. And Tetsuyo Dragneel, worth noting, in the book she wrote under a pen name in 2014, has a trans character try to kill the protagonist and is outed as trans because of her Adam's apple. I also believe the trans person is threatened with prison, RAPE, but I'm not too sure. That sounds like her. J.K. Rowling, the worst person to ever write a book. That's hyperbole, but you get what I'm saying.
How we got
insert obligatory surf and turf joke here. I don't get it.
Here, but I think it's at least partly because of the company she keeps. The pandering that you do, on Twitter in particular, works really well. You pander.
Oh, here's the angle he's gonna go with. I gotcha. I'm honed in now. Jeremy's gonna say, well, if you court a bunch of SJWs, they're gonna go after you sooner or later. First of all, Jeremy, no. J.K. Rowling's tokenization of, like, post hoc making certain characters either gay or, like, non-white or whatever isn't the kind of inclusiveness that people who you would deem SJWs typically care about. A lot of people have even pointed out that it's tokenization and it's not real inclusiveness or representation. Secondly, again, you're acting like being not transphobic is like some SJW viewpoint. Anyone who's not a jerk is not transphobic. It's not hard to do. All you have to do is literally not say anything transphobic. Not say that you think that trans individuals are secretly a different gender than that of which they're claiming, and that they're trying to trick people, or like J.K. Rowling said, she thinks that, like, gender transition for trans individuals is the new version of gay conversion therapy. Like, she says just insane transphobic stuff. This has been covered to death, Jeremy. Come on now. I mean, she's a very close second after Hitler. Again, that's hyperbolic. There have been worse people to write books, but, like, Jesus, JK, you write a whole book series about, like, the power of friendship, and then you're like, oh, by the way, if you're trans, ew. Like, hypocritical. Wing the ultimate nug. Wait, Hannah isn't real? I hope that's not true because the content is too good. Well, thank you.
Get woke, you say all the right things, people follow you, people praise you.
Apparently, thinking it's okay for characters to be gay is woke now. Good job, Jeremy. You're nailing it.
But these people aren't following you for you. They're following you because of confirmation bias.
I don't think you know what confirmation bias means.
Or they're saying you're saying things that they like. They don't actually like you.
I mean, that's how all public figures work. You typically like actors or actresses or authors whose opinions you value, because that's how parasocial relationships work. If you don't know a person on a personal level, how else are you supposed to judge them other than their artistic output and the things that they put out there on social media? Those are the only avenues through which you know that person, even though you don't really know that person. You know their public persona, but that's always the level at which you're engaging with people who are celebrities that you don't know. That's not an SJW thing. That's just a reality of how we interact with people digitally in the 21st century. The same thing applies to me, and the same thing applies to Jeremy, right? Because you guys who are watching this, who I value a lot and who I enjoy this time we spend together and get to go back and forth on things, and I like that you apparently like what I have to say enough to come and join for these streams, but at the end of the day, you don't know me personally, not really. You've never spent time with me. All you have to base it on is the things I've said, right? It's the same thing for Jeremy. I don't know Jeremy. None of his audience knows him. All we can base our fandom of Jeremy on, fandom in my case, is what he has said and the opinions he has espoused. That's how parasocial relationships work. Have we ever checked out Jeremy's BitChute? No, we haven't.
What happens is you build a huge following like this, and then the second you say something they don't like, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. And immediately, hashtag RIP, J.K. Rowling is trending.
Yeah, it's not like this is the first time she's done transphobic things, Jeremy. It's been a consistent deluge this year of ridiculous transphobic backwards turf opinions from her.
On Twitter. I hope you are enjoying this coverage. We're going to get right into the rest of the story. All I ask is that if you haven't yet, please consider clicking that like button right below, leaving a comment, and if you haven't yet, there's a red subscribe button right below the video. I cover all sorts of things today alone. I've covered the NFL, I've covered J.K. Rowling, I've covered Mulan, I've covered the Netflix stuff going on, YouTube changes. I guarantee at least one video a day that I make you're going to like, so I hope that you subscribe today. So,
can I get a money back on that guarantee, or time back? Because I don't think I've liked a single video I've ever seen of Jeremy's.
Now, Pink News says, J.K. Rowling's latest book is about an evil cis man who dresses as a woman to end...
It says murderous, Jeremy. Reading comprehension? Or do you look at, like... It just seems like selective editing on what the actual headline says.
His victims.
It's not that he's just evil, it's that he's a murderer.
I can't believe the writer behind Cho Chang, the Irish wizard who loves to blow things up, and hook-nosed goblins who control wealth, has done this. Don't forget the House of Elves, the happy slaves who just cook and clean for wizards.
Yeah, it's people talking about the more problematic elements of Harry Potter, something that's been discussed in literary circles for quite a while. This isn't new. Discussing problematic elements of literature is a part of critically reading literature, Jeremy. I don't know the last time you read a book, in fairness, so I guess I get that you might not understand that, and when people discuss books, you might not understand that people discuss these things, but it is, just so you know.
Imagine reading the headline and not being able to understand the blatant, obvious motive behind her writing. Now, if you haven't followed the J.K. Rowling saga, she's got a lot to say as a extraordinarily rich woman, and she's earned that money through her Harry Potter series, but has since fallen out of favor of many of the young kids that grew up loving her because they've turned into ultra-soft millennials.
Or, Jeremy, let's reword this in a way that's more consistent with reality. People liked J.K. Rowling because of the special place they had due to the books that were read by people, usually in formative years of their life, and then it turns out that she's transphobic,
There's
and a
nothing
lot of
funny about
people
the
who
tools
are
of
our age
capitalism.
know people who are trans, or at the very least recognize that trans people are human beings deserving of dignity, respect, and rights like everyone else. And then when this author, who espoused so many good moral messages in the books despite the problematic elements, to say things like, love is more powerful than hate, and we should all stick together to defeat evil, and yet she comes along and is like, by the way, I think trans women are just men in dresses, and they're gonna assault you in the bathroom. They go, what? That seems counterintuitive based upon your previous writings. And they really, really don't like that. It's annoying to find out that someone you had a lot of respect for is sort of morally repugnant. It's really unfortunate, but it is the case with J.K. Rowling.
Now they want the woman who wrote their children's book to issue out life advice. And as it may turn out, J.K. Rowling, in some cases, actually prefers science to ideology.
Jeremy.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I can't say I'm surprised Jeremy's transphobic and thinks that science means what he learned in elementary school and not, you know, what modern science tells us about the differentiation between gender and sex. But nonetheless, here we are. Jeremy, if you read an actual textbook that was written before or after the 1970s or 80s, there's a differentiation between what we consider gender and what we consider sex. My sex at birth is male, right? Got the wiener and the 2 balls, okay? True. However, gender is sort of the social expectations that go along with and are often correlated to one's genitalia, but as it turns out, it is not all the time, right? So maybe actually read what academics have to say about this instead of assuming you know what they do, because you don't. Because you're not backed up by this. The American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, tons of places recognize and accept that trans individuals exist. And you just being like, science, when you don't even know what science says about the topic, just makes you look like a jackass.
And
happiness is mandatory. Thanks for subscribing. MMO Addicted with 10 bits. Oh, God, have you ever seen the very religious rewrite of Harry Potter? Someone posted on the internet ages ago. It was amazing. I can find you a link if you'd like. Oh, Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. Yeah, it's a parody, though. It's not like a real, genuine thing someone did. Great Plains Sojourner, thank you for subscribing. Also, appreciate that. Did I miss any more? I don't think so.
She has said some, in their opinions, phobic things about the trans community. J.K. Rowling's latest book is about a evil cis man who dresses as a woman to end his victims. By the way...
Oh, he doesn't want to say murder because YouTube... Good job, YouTube.
There are a lot of drag queens that are straight. So, of course, everyone just meant...
He's not a drag queen, Jeremy. It's just a cis dude. It's their Silence of the Lambing it. They're psychoing it. It's a bad trope. It's a well-worn, outdated trope of the evil, murderous transvestite. Like, it basically comes from the fact that people who are like, oh no, this person who has a penis is wearing clothes that I think are lady clothes, but I don't think they're a lady. I'm scared. They must be murderers. MMO Addicted with 10 bits. Was it ever outed as a parody? I always thought it was, but there was nothing definitive. I've read parts of it. It's definitely a parody.
And everyone just assumed that this is a commentary.
Yes. Jeremy, G, let's see. How do I put this? Let's imagine there was someone who was racist, who consistently was racist. Let's say this is even back in the day. This is when segregation is being debated, let's say. And someone really, really doesn't like black people. and let's say Twitter existed back in the day, and they've not only tweeted racist things, but they tweeted an entire essay they wrote on how they think black people are secretly evil, and they're going to invade white spaces and harm white people. And then one day, that author writes a book about a black person who puts on whiteface and sneaks into white-only spaces and kills people. It would be reasonable to assume that that person is trying to push their racist narrative by writing a story that vilifies someone who is different than them and is using the auspices of, like, making themselves appear to be something they are not in order to harm others. It would be reasonable to assume that that person is trying to say something with that book. Things do not happen in a vacuum. The fact that J.K. Rowling, who has admitted that she does not see a difference between a man wearing women's clothes and a trans woman wearing women's clothes, is the problem and the reason why this is problematic. Because to her, there is no such thing as a trans woman wearing women's clothes. To J.K. Rowling, there are only men who wear women's clothes, and that's the problem. It's clear that here she is trying to demonize trans women by just saying, ooh, look at this cis man, which you all are, by the way, wearing women's clothes that's going to murder women in their women-only spaces. To act like you don't understand what she's saying is either an admission that you haven't actually read what she has written, or it makes it clear that you're being obtuse intentionally in order to support this shit. I don't know which it is, Jeremy, because on the one hand, it's very clear you like to spend your time getting drunk in the basement and peeing on the floor instead of reading, but also, you are intentionally obtuse and a transphobe. So it could go either way on this one, I really don't know.
About transgender people. According to the Telegraph, the meat of a 900-page novel is an investigation into a cold case. The disappearance of a woman in 1974 believed to be a victim of a cis male serial bad guy whose modus operandi is dressing as a woman. Okay, is it a real story? One wonders what critics of Rowling's stance on trans issues will make of this book, writes reviewer Jake Carriage. Quickly, Troubled Blood was criticized on social media. It was incredibly ham-fisted and lacking of originality, creativity that Rowling is famous for.
I've heard a lot of her books, and again, I haven't read them, so I can't say. I've seen some of the reviews for her books post-Harry Potter, and I've heard they're not very good. Which is interesting, considering so many people like Harry Potter, but trying to transition from children's books to adult literature, I could see the disconnect. I can see why someone would be good at one and bad at the other. I don't know.
I wonder if these people are being honest in their review.
Probably. Jeremy, I know that you base all of your opinions on your political opinion first, and then you make judgments based upon how it adheres to your political position, but other people don't tend to work like that. So nice projection. M the Ambassador 19. I don't know if the quartering was online during Gamergate, but I remember a bunch of Gamergate advocates getting mad at the Special Victims Unit making an episode about a woman getting harmed by gamers. I wonder if he would play this game then.
Troubled Blood is the fifth entry into Rowling's Caraman Strike series, penned under the pseudonym Robert Galbraith.
Robert Galbraith, which is her nom de plume, which is her other, like, pseudonym she uses as a name for her adult books, was also the name of a proponent of gay conversion therapy. She says that there's no connection. Seems like a pretty big coincidence, though.
The second in the series, The Silkworm, has previously been criticized over its depiction of trans characters described as unstable and aggressive. In the book, the woman Pippa stalks Strike before attempting to go after him. After the attack, the detective manages to trap Pippa in his office, where her trans identity and dead name are revealed. At this point, J.K. Rowling describes the characters Adam Apple and Hans, with the Strike character warning that her prison won't and warns that prison won't be fun for you. not pre-op.
Yikes. MMO addicted 10 bits. Indeed, I say wholeheartedly that Hitler's paintings were not the worst, despite not agreeing with him politically. In fact, I'd prefer he remained a painter. Yeah. So basically, this line from this book is saying, prison won't be good for you. You're not pre-op. So basically, it's saying, you're gonna get assaulted in prison. Ha. Come on. Come on. Regardless of someone's trans or if they're cis, anyone who ever makes the joke, haha, prison assault, you're awful. No. Bad.
Trans journalist Caitlin Burns reviews the passage for Them in 2018, writing it's an entirely common, though insulting trope about trans women that they are aggressive and unstable. Well, I don't know. The only one, the last one that had was the, it's ma'am. That person seemed pretty aggressive and unstable, but it's just...
Fucking yikes, Jeremy. Fucking yikes.
Just one. J.K. Rowling facing fierce backlash yet again for dangerous comments comparing trans healthcare to conversion therapy. She's had several spicy takes on the...
They're not spicy takes, Jeremy. Why does Jeremy always... He always downplays some really effed up thing someone says. And he's like, they had a spicy take. No, Jeremy. She espoused horrifying transphobic views that compared transitioning to gay conversion therapy. Jesus. Me calling you an alcoholic. That's a spicy take. This is not a spicy take. You absolute jackass.
Trans community takes that are very dangerous to have.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
I'm the ambassador. Hitler had spicy takes about the Jews. I can see Jeremy in the late 30s and 40s being like, oh boy, bunch of libs on Twitter super triggered about Germany's leader Adolf Hitler and his spicy takes. Ha ha ha. Silly triggered snowflakes. History's stupid.
Of course, but you can see this. I've ignored fake tweets attributed to me and retweeted widely. I've ignored horrible things tweeted at children on a thread about their art. I've ignored all sorts of things. I'm not going to ignore any more. When you lie about what I believe about mental health medication, when you misrepresent the views of trans women, whom I feel nothing but admiration.
When she tries to say she has nothing but admiration for trans women, it makes, again, line from Clue, flames on the side of my face. No, J.K. Rowling. This would be like a KKK member being like, now listen here, I have nothing but respect for black people. However, I don't think they have the right to be in the same restaurant as me. Like, no, those two things don't go together. You can try and lampshade your transphobia as much as you want by saying you have respect for trans people. And by the way, she always talks about trans women. It's never about trans men. So once again, we have, like, trans men erasure, which I'm sorry for trans men out there, but, like, for some reason, they're so focused on trans women. Like, what is this idea that you think you can be, like, hardcore transphobic to the point that you think that transition is, like, gay conversion therapy, and that you think that trans women are just men wearing women's clothes, and you think you can say, I have nothing but admiration for them? No, you don't. You don't get to say that. Did I miss something? Hold on. Vitor, thank you for following.
Solidarity for you cross the line. What's interesting to me is J.K. Rowling again is put in this position. Like, why do you want, need, or care what celebrities say about your lifestyle?
Jeremy, is it 1986? Are we talking about, oh, the gay lifestyle, oh, the trans lifestyle? It's not a lifestyle, Jeremy. That's like saying, again, to draw a comparison between this and, like, racism, I just don't agree with the black lifestyle. What lifestyle? It's who I am. I'm trans. It's not a lifestyle choice. It's who I am as a human being. It's not a choice you get to make. What are you talking about? So yes, if someone's like, I don't think that who you are is valid, and in fact I'm going to demonize and try and claim that you are hurting people just by existing, yeah, people are gonna get mad, Jeremy, you idiot. 74 Quinn 74, of course it's because trans women are sexual abusers. Being a trans woman is definitely harder. I'm a trans man. I don't know if I'd say it's harder. We certainly get more shit from the general public because they see us as predators, but like trans men just don't get considered at all by society, so that in itself is difficult.
It's absurd. I know for a fact I have lots of gay viewers and trans
Doubt.
They don't care what I say about their existence or
honestly, if you're trans and you're a fan of Jeremy, do you need help? Do you need like some support to get out of this abusive parasocial relationship? Because, you know, on YouTube, if you just look at this search bar up here, you can find all kinds of creators who talk about media and aren't awful and don't think you're disgusting. Please. Literally look at anyone else. That'd be great.
Minimum, they shouldn't.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Jeremy uses the old I have a black friend defense. Basically, that's what he's doing, yeah. Except it's even worse because he's saying, I have trans fans. I don't know any of them, but...
should care about themselves and living their best life. What does my opinion matter? In case you're wondering, of course, my opinion is love. And as long as you're not hurting anybody, you do you. Be happy you get one chance on this.
Okay, J.K. Rowling is hurting people by spreading dangerous ideologies that are calling trans people predators, Jeremy. That's a problem. If you were genuine about your feelings and you were consistent with your morality and really believed that it's fine to do things that make you happy unless it's harming someone, then J.K. Rowling's comments and her paper that she's written on this are harming people.
This planet, be happy, or at least as happy as you possibly can be. J.K. Rowling's new book, according to Forbes, about a cross-dressing serial bad person draws outrage. But what if the book is based on a true story? J.K. Rowling's new book is about the transvestite serial killer.
Is about a transvestite serial killer.
Meanwhile, over the real world number of trans people ended in Brazil is written by 70% this year. Young trans women are left to burn.
Freaking out 99, love is love, but it better not be in my video games or I'll get mad. Yeah, look at his, like, 20 videos on The Last of Us 2 for that.
And men, blah, 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 for being trans. Yeah, that's...
And blah, blah, blah. Oh, do you not want to read the part where trans women have an incredibly high murder rate? But please, Jeremy, make another It's Ma'am joke. Real topical, you absolute idiot.
Sucks.
And Lid with 25 bits. It's so infuriating. I just received a mail ad from a GOP PAC the other day that said, quote, Tina Smith, Minnesota senator up for re-election, and Joe Biden want biological men to go into women's bathrooms and compete in women's sports, end quote. Disgusting. That went right in the trash after being ripped up election season. Yeah, election season, bad. The GOP, always the worst.
But again, what does J.K. Rowling's book have to do with any of that?
Boy, this person who's espoused really transphobic opinions and seems to classify trans women as men who are predators going into women's bathrooms is writing a book about a transvestite murderer. I wonder if there's a connection. Cut to the person who's speaking is literally an obtuse angle. Hello. What's up? Love you too.
Wanted to let you know.
You know, there are a few. I mean, this book is at least loosely based on truth, from what I can see.
There's nothing funny about capitalism.
Oh God. It's based loosely on truth, so there's no agenda here. Freaking Out 99, collect those political ads I get in the mail like trading cards because some of them are so ridiculous that I have to keep them.
Nothing
Ugh.
funny about the tools of
Daddy
capitalism.
Sume, love you too, Hannah. Also, I'm here. Well, gee, thanks.
What is she supposed to do? Now, I don't read
What
her.
is she supposed to do? Jeremy, what do you mean, what is she supposed to do? She's the author. She could write about anything, and this is what she chooses to write about. What don't you understand?
Books. I enjoyed Harry Potter when I was a young child. I wish that many of these millennials that keep holding on to
Jeremy, you're almost a millennial. What are you talking about? Like, millennials are in their 30s. What year were you born, Jeremy? I assume you're like 40-something if you're talking about millennials like this, because millennials are in their early, mid, and late 30s. So pretty much their 30s, and some of us, I'm on the younger end of millennials. I'm 26, coming up on 27. Millennials are not 15. Millennials aren't 18 or 22. Like, what are you talking about?
it would read another book, but at the end of the day, I don't care for J.K. Rowling's personal opinions, and I don't care for her
I'm just gonna go to bat for her here because she's espousing transphobic positions, so now I'm gonna act like I like J.K. Rowling and defend her, but I'm gonna lampshade that I don't because, you know, she said Dumbledore's gay.
crime novels either. Even if I did, I'm not sure that I can make the stretch that her writing this book is
Don't
her
remind me, Bellstar.
somehow making some broad commentary on the trans community. And if this is exactly how people are reacting...
Jeremy, you can't be this stupid. You genuinely cannot be this stupid. So I'm going to consider this a malice point. Zero chance you don't understand that it's clear what she's doing.
You wonder. You know, you wonder if, you know, if she's allowed, you know, it's a weird question that, are you allowed to write this book? Is she not allowed to write this?
Jeremy, it's not about allowed or not allowed. It's about the fact that it reflects poorly on her character. What do you people not understand?
Book? Because why? You hear?
Because it's clear that it's in line with her transphobic worldview. No one is telling her she can't write this book and publish it if she can find a publisher, which she already has. But we are saying, oh boy, this sure does chalk up another point to the fact that she's a shitty person. That's it. What do people not in the right not understand about this? Like, people disagreeing with you and saying you're a bad person isn't censorship. It's consequences for your actions.
I'm a 6'2" former forward. If I announce I identify as a girl, Stonewall says it's okay for me to smash full tilt into female fly half. Wait, what? Oh, that's rugby. So she's making sure to retweet a bunch of trans rights or human rights things. And
that was literally someone making fun of trans people in sports. So no, it wasn't, Jeremy. You can't just lie when the thing you're looking at is on screen. What are you talking about? Oh, she's retweeting trans rights or human rights. Jeremy, no, what she retweeted was the person who was responding to that by saying, oh, if I'm such and such, I can join women's rugby. It was the opposite of what you just said. Ugh. Daddy Sume, you can of course publish the book, but we're still going to tell you you're a shitbag, right?
I think it's funny. Ultimately, this is what you get. This is exactly what happened to Star Wars. This is exactly what happens to any new property that panders or builds their fandom pandering and not just speaking their truth.
Speaking their truth. Jeremy, I hate to break it to you, but there's no such thing as a multi-billion-dollar corporation speaking their truth. That's not a thing, you absolute moron. Why doesn't Star Wars just speak its truth? What truth? It's a multi-billion-dollar franchise. They're writing movies about it. What are you talking about? And then when Rian Johnson came along and made like a bold movie that like completely just said what he wanted to say about Star Wars, people like you were like, I don't like it. I think Rey's a Mary Sue. Why is Luke not the amazing superhero that I imagined him in my head when I was playing with his action figure at 8 years old?
Sure, I could soften a lot of my takes a lot more and probably have a bigger YouTube channel and not live in constant fear of...
No, you wouldn't. Jeremy, and this is just... Here's my truth on Jeremy, since we're speaking our truths. Jeremy is a subpar media YouTube channel that if he didn't talk about this anti-SJW stuff, if he didn't try and appeal and pander to this reactionary right-wing base, he would have like 10,000 subscribers because he has nothing substantive to say about any of the topics he has ever covered. All he can do is scream and whine and complain and try and do so in such a way as to court these kind of people. And that's why they're here. Not because they want to hear some interesting new position or opinion on a movie or film franchise. It's so they can hear their anxieties about franchises and the media and the real world parroted by a guy on the screen. And that's his entire business. And if he didn't do that, he wouldn't be popular because he's not good at his job. Daddy sue me with a bit. I mean, Chosen One stories are always Mary Sue's to a certain degree, so while I love Star Wars, the Chosen One trope bugs me. Right, which is why I liked The Last Jedi, because it subverted the Chosen One trope. The entire point was supposed to be, oh, look, Rey isn't like some Skywalker or a Palpatine or anyone. She's no one. And then J.J. Abrams came back and he's like, actually, she's a Palpatine. Sorry, Chosen One. The Force is hereditary bullshit all over again. Very stupid.
Being yeeted from the platform. But when I make a mistake, my viewers now know that I'm a genuine person and they're more likely to forgive me.
Enlid with 5 bits. I don't get these people on these big franchises thinking progressive topics are new. Star Wars, Star Trek, MCU, all of it has always had progressive topics. The first Iron Man had subtext about the military-industrial complex, corporate America, and profiting from Middle East wars. Yeah. Yep. And Marvel Comics has always been incredibly progressive. I posted to Twitter a while ago some panels that I was reading from a Marvel comic from the 80s. It was a what-if comic. Here, let me see if I can find them on my Twitter. Twitter profile media. I don't know how far back it'll be. Here we go. This is from a What If comic I was reading the other day from the 80s, where it's what if Captain America wasn't unfrozen in the 60s? Because as you know, Captain America, World War II character, was frozen in the 40s, woke up in the 60s, became a founding member of the Avengers with Iron Man, Thor, the Hulk, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and went on to have adventures, you know, as Captain America in the modern day, always with the 5-year shifting Marvel timeline. But, in this one, Captain America wasn't unfrozen in the 60s. Instead, for those who aren't familiar with Marvel Comics canon, there was a different Captain America that appeared in the 50s. And that Captain America was like a commie smasher. He hated communism, and he was like jingoistic and awful. And it was later retconned that that wasn't Steve Rogers. It was a different Captain America that had been created by the government in order to be a propaganda agent. And he's evil and he's awful. So in this What If comic, since original actual Patriot Captain America doesn't come back, the jingoistic commie smasher comes back and basically becomes an Adolf Hitler figure that turns America into a fascist dictatorship. where he's destroying everyone who he views as un-American, communists, progressives, the black community. He puts them in, like, ghettos. It's like a whole thing. Anyway, at the end of this story, the real Captain America shows up. The real one from the 40s, and basically talks, and this is what he says. Listen to me, all of you out there. You are told by this man, your hero, that America is the greatest country in the world. He told you that Americans were the greatest people, that America could be refined like silver, could have the impurities hammered out of it and shine more brightly. He went on about how precious America was, how you needed to make sure it remained great. And he told you anything was justified to preserve that great treasure, that pearl of great price that is America. Well, I say America is nothing without its ideals, its commitment to the freedom of all men. America is a piece of trash. A nation is nothing. A flag is a piece of cloth. I fought Adolf Hitler not because America was great, but because it was fragile. I knew that liberty could as easily be snuffed out here as in Nazi Germany. As a people, we were no different from them. When I returned, I saw that you nearly did turn America into nothing, and the only reason you're not less than nothing is that it's still possible for you to bring freedom back to America. And then the crowd goes, oh, that's the real Captain America, and Captain America saves the day. My point is that, like, Marvel Comics has always been incredibly progressive. So is Star Wars. Star Wars is literally just World War II in space. It's an anti-fascist movie. And Star Trek has always been progressive too. The idea that, like, SJW, which is just a new term for progressivism, really. It's just a way to demonize progressives. In the 60s, they called them hippies. In the 70s, you know. Throughout history, there have been tons of names given to progressives in order to demonize them as a group. But nonetheless, progress continues on, and we continue to get these narratives told, because as it turns out, progressives are good at telling stories, whether they be in comic books or music or movies, because all of these things require empathy, which is something that conservatives tend to not be so great at. So people like this just get mad. They get mad that progressive messages continue to be pervasive in all avenues of society because, again, progressives tend to be storytellers, and that's how, honestly, a lot of progressive messages ingratiate themselves into society as a whole. But they get mad about it. They're mad. They're just mad that progressives constantly win. And it's so weird, and it's not about winning or losing. It's just that the result of winning is making sure that people of all creeds, all colors, everything, and everyone get the respect and dignity that they are owed as human beings. And conservatives hate that shit. So, that was a tangent. Anyway, Daddy Sume with a bit. Yeah, but the conservatives can turn that to defend them without context because nothing is too low for them, yeah. It's easy to be conservative because they have no standards for themselves.
When J.K. Rowling makes a mistake, people don't...
It's not a mistake. It's like saying, oh, if someone accidentally says the N-word or something like that, like, that's not a mistake. That's revealing. That's not a mistake. It's like when PewDiePie got caught doing that, and it's like, that's not a mistake. I mean, it's a mistake that he let it slip, but it's not that it was a mistake that's the problem. It's the fact that that mistake revealed the kind of person they are, and that's the problem. Like, what don't these people get? What don't they get? If you're gonna be a bad person, sorry, most people in the consumer base don't like bad people, because most people really, really want to be able to live in a society where everyone is given equal treatment and equal rights and people aren't treated like crap because of who they are. So if J.K. Rowling gets a bunch of shit for her transphobic views, good. Good. She's still a billionaire. It's not gonna matter to her pocketbook. But I would like her to die knowing someday of old age that she was wrong. That would be great.
Don't care, because she's an ultra-rich, privileged woman. So they only followed her when she was saying the things that they wanted her to say. And now that she's maybe broke away from that, all of a sudden, J.K. Rowling bad, J.K. Rowling canceled, rest in pepperonis, J.K. Rowling. It's really a sad existence. Stop looking for Hollywood losers to validate you. They don't care about you. They care about your money.
Dude, Again, where do you get this idea that you think people are worshiping the people that they enjoy products from? No, it's just that we enjoy certain people on the internet because that's the only way you can have a parasocial relationship with someone like J.K. Rowling or Stephen King or you or me or Leonardo DiCaprio or Jeff Goldblum. It could be literally anyone. It's not that people are worshiping these people, it's that they appreciate when people use their platforms to spread messages of understanding and kindness. Because human beings are like that. We enjoy that for the most part, people who have empathy at least. And then when people do the opposite, people don't like that, and they get mad. It's not some conspiracy, it's not some new SJW thing. This is how human beings work. Like, imagine, I don't know, it's like 30,000 BC. Grog is the most famous caveman in the area. Grog is best at throwing rock. Grog throw rock far. But Grog no like people who interbreed with what were they? Neanderthals. Grog backwards thinker. Me no more like Grog. Like, we could go back all throughout human history. People are always going to try and apply certain moral standards to other human beings. It's just how we are. And Jeremy, I'm sorry you don't like reality, but facts don't care about your feelings, as a good friend Ben Sharipo once said to me.
They've only ever cared about your money. They don't care about the environment. They don't care about representation.
Daddy Sume says, consumerism is a religion, clearly. Also, Hannah, please write down 10 commandments for your followers to worship. Don't be a dick. Taco Tuesday's a rad. Be nice to other people. Don't be a chud. ACAB. Free pizza on Fridays. Genderless bathrooms, but all the bathrooms just have individual stalls that go all the way from floor to ceiling, and they lock. I'm up to 7. What are the next 3 will just be don't be a dick, don't be a dick, don't be a dick. There you go. Vote for me for deity.
They say whatever they need to say to get in the right groups of people. They do whatever they need to do to get into the right groups of people. They blow whichever way the wind blows, and you should not, nor should you ever, worry what anyone else thinks about how you...
That trans people are valid?
I said don't be a dick. I think that's included.
No. Needs to be explicitly stated.
Live your life. You live your life the best way
Trans people are valid, especially Hannah.
you can, and don't look for Hollywood multi-millionaires to validate you. And
Jeremy, your entire channel is being mad that Hollywood won't validate your political opinions. Don't look for Hollywood to validate your political opinions. Now let me talk about why Marvel is making another Captain Marvel movie with an actress who didn't validate my worldview. Hypocrite.
And I think you'll be...
Andrew Dickerson, but the locks say occupied or vacant, so you can still tell if somebody's in there without looking underneath at their feet. Yep.
Pretty happy. Enjoy your backlash, J.K. Rowling. These are your customers that you've courted. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.
About the tools of capitalism.
And so the first great schism in Hannah-ism, the Baja Testament. Funny. Well, there's the chud. There's the chud one. Anyway, let's see what's next. More cringe. Okay, we can do some cringe. That's good. Oh no, guy aggressively approaches woman on the street. This is gonna be bad. Is he wearing a camera and he's like aggressively hitting on women for no reason? Why?
Hey. Stop. Stop.
What the heck? Why did he think that would work out for him? Yeah, just tell people on the street, stop. That's not aggressive. Or, honestly, I wonder if that would fall under assault. Because assault only requires that you feel reasonable. A reasonable person would consider this a threat to bodily harm. And if someone aggressively on the street says, like, stop, that could maybe imply that they're gonna harm you. I don't know. It's definitely a stretch, but I did want to point out that that's like, don't do it. Sportscaster says Slur has to apologize during home run. I don't think I can do this because he says a slur. I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to put that due to TOS. So I'm gonna have to skip.
How are you?
Afro
Good?
Man falls asleep during interview.
You keep the hip hop real. How you do it?
Well, one, you rhyme every time. Name one time I didn't rhyme.
All right.
Because if you rap and don't rhyme, that's a hip-hop felony crime.
Oh, it's the guy that does the "Cause I Got High" song. Stop! You have violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. All stolen items are now forfeit. I remember. I can't play this song, even though I do like that song.
I live rap music, you know.
Yeah.
I want to see what I did.
What's your inspiration? Like, what's inspire you?
Maya is bored says, before Hannah, I was super confused. I had only experienced 2 moments of fleeting sexual attraction. Not saying sexually attracted to 2 people. I mean, only like 2 30-second moments where I was like, oh, I'd be intimate with them, and immediately it went away.
That was for me.
Oh.
I sent that.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about demisexuality.
Oh, okay. Oh no, he's asleep. What if he had died in that moment and they captured Afro Man dying on film? And that's like the start of a horror movie. Like, oh, this camera's haunted by Afro Man. They caught his death on film and now its soul is stuck in the camera.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
The Tranquil Torin with 5 bits. If a cop says stop aggressively on the street, I think a lot of people would assume they're in danger. True.
When you gonna sleep with Afro Man? When?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Weekend at Afro Man's. Why did she sit with him for 20 minutes? That's so weird.
So, today's interview exists, but we already know that he is the legendary Afro Man.
Ms. Harris.
Oh, God. Even Kamala's like, oh.
So there's a clear difference between the candidates in this race.
There
And I think
definitely is.
Oh God, this kid's pretending he was there on 9/11. Oh, did he do some special effects makeup? And he... Oh, this is gonna be bad. Can we not? Can we? I don't know if you guys can read this, but they're pretending they were killed in the Holocaust, basically. Like, I guess I can, like, in theory, I can kind of understand the thought, like, oh, I'm gonna humanize Holocaust victims by acting as though I am one and showing it in a TikTok. Like, in theory, I can understand sort of the thought process. I don't think they're doing it intending to be disrespectful. Unfortunately, it very much comes across as disrespectful, and instead of making something that's like in remembrance of people who died in the Holocaust or whatever, it comes off as, ooh, look at me, I'm using the Holocaust as a way to get views on my TikTok, and look at the makeup I did, you know? I don't know. Very questionable. Skip? No, that's not how this works. We didn't skip the incest video earlier, so we have to watch this.
Taylor, you want to follow up? Yeah. So you're
LeBron James talks about biggest takeaway from Malcolm X.
holding the autobiography of Malcolm X along with
Oh no.
Alex Haley. I don't know how far you are into the book, but what's your biggest takeaway so far?
I kind of just started a couple days ago, but I've read and a lot of notes over the years. This is my first time actually reading this from start to finish. But just a very smart man, very smart man, and basically his words in the 60s and what was going on is actually what's going on today still.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
How powerful the Negro can be. He used that word a lot. How powerful we are. But we have to unite, and we have to be together. We have to stand strong, because there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be, things that's going to be thrown at us where they try to weaken us. They try to make us feel like we're not kings and queens. And it's going to come from all, different races and different shapes and sizes and things of that nature. Just a very powerful-minded gentleman. And it's unbelievable to kind of read something that's coming directly from him. Just hate. Wish I had an opportunity to meet him. Obviously, we know what the situation that happened along not only him, but Dr. Martin Luther King, some of the greats that's ever walked this face of the earth, not only just here in America, but in this face of the earth. So it's a pretty interesting book so far.
I mean, I didn't necessarily cringe at that. I understand the fact that it sounded like he wasn't getting very specific and he was talking very generally, but I don't know what LeBron James normally sounds like when he talks, and I don't know how eloquently he usually comes across in interviews, so that could just be a case of, like, him not being able to articulate his feelings very well. I don't know. Enlid with 5 bits. This was all for, like, a challenge to get attention, though. It's not an educational effort or anything like that. It's the same ugly to beautiful challenges. It wasn't about having commentary about body positivity. It was about attention. Ew. Yuck. Oh, yeah. We watched this before. This specific one. I'm not gonna make fun of, like, this is backyard wrestling, for those of you who don't know. Like, it's a thing that people who are into wrestling do. Like, they just go to places and do little wrestling matches. And I find cringing at this to be incredibly stupid, because everyone in their particular field needs to start somewhere. And yes, these two girls, their performance here isn't the greatest technical achievement. I'm probably understating, but it isn't the greatest technical achievement in the history of sports entertainment. But nonetheless, they're trying, they got some outfits, they're doing characters. This is probably one of the first times they've done this. They're having a good time. Why would I make fun of these girls? Like, why? They're just having fun in a backyard, doing something they clearly care about, right? Like, no one's gonna be an amazing wrestler the first time they put a routine together. They need to work on it and continue to do so, but I applaud their efforts here in the fact that they made characters, they put a little routine together, and is it great? No, but come on. Look how young they are. And I'm not even into wrestling, but like, they clearly are into it, you know? Why make fun of it? I don't understand why you would make fun of this.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
Daddy Sume, amateur stuff is almost always cringy. If WWE wasn't incredibly produced, it would be just as cringy. Yeah. I look like a girl. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Accidentally correct Trump supporter. Hooray! Don't you love it when transphobes come in and they accidentally say something supportive? That's fun. It's like when transphobes got that hashtag going that was like, trans women are women or trans men are men is what they did. And it was like, yeah, you were accidentally right. Thanks. Of course it's still gross. Nonetheless, out of all the things they could say, they get one shot at saying something mean before they get banned, and they completely drop the ball. It's hilarious. I'm gonna skip. You get the point. I already said my piece on this. Like, they're putting on a performance. They're having fun.
Marysville, a white community, as much as possible.
Marysville, Michigan.
My suggestion, recommendation, keep but Marysville, a white community, as much as possible. White, seriously, in other words, no foreign-born, no foreign people because of what, how can I say, in our past, what we have experienced, is better to have it or...
Yikes. Racist city council member. You're nailing it. Oh, God. Every time I used to think when I first saw Parks and Rec, like, this is pretty over the top, you know, and that's the joke of the show, is they do the city council meetings, and the city councilors are crazy, and the people doing comments are also crazy. But the more I've seen online video of actual city council meetings, and you see what some of these people believe, both on the council and the people who come to comment, I'm like, wow, Parks and Rec was really accurate.
Have it simply American-born.
This person on the city council who's a white supremacist isn't on the council anymore? Good.
Put it that way.
My son-in-law is a black man, and I have biracial grandchildren. And I take this very, very personally, what you've said, and I know that there's nothing I can say that's going to change your mind. But we all have the same, that we just need to have more kindness. That's it.
I'm just checking the calendar here and making sure it's still 2019.
That's a pretty good, that's good.
Yeah, I thought we covered civil rights about 50 years ago. I know, I mean, we're one nation under God, and I live that. You know, if I ever had any notion of veering away from that, I can take my broker's license and burn it.
Everybody's welcome to Marysville. I don't care if you're purple, whatever. I mean, we're here. We have a community. You're welcome to our community, and
Good on these other city council people for being like, nah, screw this lady. Enlid with 5 bits. I reported on city and county government meetings for 8 years. It does get rough sometimes. The last meeting I covered was on Monday, and there was a 3-hour argument about the future of an ice arena. Ice Town. Reminds me of Parks and Rec again.
You know, so be it.
Tell us exactly what you said yesterday. You talked about you didn't believe in, you wanted to, what did you want to happen with Marysville? You wanted it to stay a certain way. Tell us about that.
Well, we like Marysville the way it is.
There's nothing
But
funny
as far
about
as
the tools
having,
of capitalism.
She looks exactly like you'd expect her to look. Like, if I were doing a Saturday Night Live sketch and I needed a racist city councilwoman, like, yeah, I'd be like, wow, wardrobe nailed it. Wing the Ultimate Nug with 10 bits. Honestly, why do we have Under God in our money? I don't think we need to waste money destroying past... Don't need to think we need to waste money destroying past money, but we can easily stop it on future money. It got added in, like, 1957. It was, like, an anti-communist thing. They're like, we're not like the commies. We're a Christian nation, even though, of course, the Constitution says you can't have an establishment of religion. It got added to the Pledge of Allegiance and money in the 50s, is the answer.
A black couple moving in, we have no problem with that. But where it's wrong is when you have a white woman and a black husband.
Yikes. And she thinks she's like, now let me be reasonable here and explain, like, how does she not understand that this is the dumbest thing?
A white wife and a black husband together, that's wrong. And vice versa.
Ridiculous.
Well, and why is
Get out of here with this ancient nonsense.
that?
It's simply against the Bible. If a black couple wants to move in, fine. But to have the mixed marriage, no.
Talk about though, but why then say it should stay white then? Talk about and that's okay if you feel like that. I mean, as far as a journalist, you know. Mm-hmm.
Is it in the Bible? There is a Bible verse about being unequally yoked. Equally yoked. Unequally yoked, the pain of marriage when spouses are not spiritually on the same page. Now, typically this verse has been translated to basically mean that if you are a certain religion, your spouse should be the same religion. So if you're Christian, you should marry a Christian. If you are Catholic, you should marry a Catholic. If you're Protestant, you should marry a Protestant. That sort of thing. But it's also been used by racists in the past and present to say that, like, if you're a certain race, you should marry within your racial group or ethnicity or whatever it happens to be.
Why do you think?
There are also some stuff in the Old Testament about marrying outside of the tribe, so to speak. Different people marrying, because obviously the Old Testament is about Israel as a nation, not the modern Israel, but I'm talking about like the Jewish tribes of the Old Testament, and you have several times where it's talked about being wicked to marry someone who is not part of the tribe, and there are several stories where things go badly for people who do so.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
But, you know, the Bible's interesting in that it can be interpreted a lot of ways, so there are always things that racists are going to be able to look at and say, oh, this justifies my racism, but of course then there are Christians who are going to say, well, this other verse justifies my, you know, inclusiveness. It's like a Rorschach test. The Bible's long enough and has enough verses where you can kind of pick and choose and use it to back whatever beliefs you have. Daddy Sume, miscegenation is bad. Yeah, I don't get where these people are coming from with this weird 1950s gross racist worldview. Enlid with 5 bits. How much do you want to bet that people who say it's in the Bible have never actually read the thing? Because so many of them get caught in the Leviticus trap or don't know about the bitter water story. Yeah, I think I've read most of the Bible now because we do the Bible study, the non-religious Bible study over on YouTube, on the Hannah and Jake channel, and we have for like the past 8 years or so. I think I've read most of the Bible at this point, and I think I've read more of it than like 99% of Christians, at least American Christians. I don't know about the rest of the world, but it's very interesting. I don't understand the idea of believing something that you haven't even, like, read. It's like skipping to the bottom of the terms and services and clicking agree, but it's not just about, like, using iTunes or something. It's about your entire worldview and whether or not you think there's an afterlife. It's kind of interesting.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. Why do you think Marysville should stay white?
We like it the way it is. When we moved here, we didn't know anything about it initially, and we have just been comfortable with the way it is.
Why don't you like foreigners? Why? I mean, like
Well,
a lot of people would say all of us are foreigners, unless we're Native American. So, what's your issue with people who were not born in America?
The question would be, why did they come here in the first place? What is wrong with their own country?
Why did Europeans come to America in the first place? What was wrong with England or Germany or France or wherever your family came from? Like, what? The short side... The lack of critical thinking in these people is infuriating.
So I'm an immigrant. Would I not be welcome in Marysville?
Is your husband an immigrant?
I'm actually single.
Oh, goodness me. I see no problem.
What?
What about my brother? He's black and his wife is white and Asian.
I have to think about that one. I would say...
Why do you have to think about it? What's there to think about? There's nothing to think about. They're human beings. Who cares?
Right now, that's a mixed marriage, no.
What about me? I'm English and my wife's Canadian.
So she's foreign.
My question would be...
Oh, is she going to admit that it's about race and not about nationality? Because a lot of the time, people like this will hide behind, oh, it's not a race thing, it's a nationality thing. But when we have a Canadian and an English person, presumably they're both white. We don't know, but presumably they're both white. So what is she going to say about this?
Isn't that how Canada got started?
Oh my god. So there you go, it's a race thing. What a shock. I'm shocked, I tell you.
Well, no, the question is, can we live in Marysville?
I don't know why not.
Well, I'm Canadian. What do you mean by that?
Well, I cannot give out any names right now, but we do have a neighbor that I found out in March that he is Canadian and she's American. And they're both white.
Your family is from Germany, right?
Way back.
If a German white person wanted to come to America now and move to Marysville, what would you say?
She has a meme-worthy face. Internet, do your thing. I suppose she does.
People, but foreign people who are not white.
Okay, that's good. These compilations are pretty good. What's next? Sovereign citizen. Okay. Sovereign citizen in court for threatening judge's life.
I made it very clear in my letter to Judge Seal that I intended no harm for...
Thank you to Pseudosapien for hosting. Appreciate that.
For anyone, but I
go check out the Pseudosapiens channel here on Twitch.
will hold him accountable. He is in violation and not in compliance with 46-13.
Does the volume go up at some point? Because this is inaudible.
I've asked Bond. I've been a longtime member of this community. I'm actually the head usher for the Bozeman Symphony. More business comes from.
Why can't I hear it at all? That's so weird.
I have never spoken to.
Gonna have to find a different one. Sovereign citizen gets arrested for not stating who he is in court.
I only have one matter, sir. I only have to be living 7.
Oh, it was in the right ear? I only have my left ear in. That's why. Well, I'm not doing a whole video. That's only one channel of audio. Can't hear what's going on there. We'll find a good one. We'll find a good one. Oh, look. It's one of my videos. Hooray. Oh, look. More of my videos. I'm glad I'm coming up in the searches. That's nice. Filter this week. See some newer ones.
Yeah. I'm gonna do an experiment today. Today, I want to see if people are educated.
Oh god, what is this gonna be? This is entitled Sovereign Citizen. Oh, he's gonna ask people in the store randomly, are you voting for Trump? And he's gonna be like, see, the media's lying to you.
Funny about the
With the complete misunderstanding of how sampling works. And that if you're in a red state or in a red district, of course all the people around you are going to say they're voting for Trump.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
That's not a sample that works on the national level or in areas with different demographics to the one that you're currently in. MMO addicted. I'm scared. Dr. Gamble with 100 bits. C-Zone vid and searches. Relevancy. Thy name is Hannah.
I'm just doing this because it's what I do for a living.
What do you do for a living, bud? You have 186 subscribers, so it's certainly not YouTube. Wow, why are all your videos titled Sovereign Citizen? Bud, if you're making videos, you can't just title them all the exact same thing.
How you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm actually curious.
I'm gonna walk up to white people in the TJ Maxx and see if they're voting for Trump. This is a sample size that's relevant to the entirety of the US and all of its swing states.
Do you guys know who the presidential candidates are?
Yeah.
Donald Trump and Joe Biden?
Yeah.
So, who are you voting for?
I'd like to vote for either.
I'm voting for Trump, but... What's that? But are you conservative? Sometimes.
Yes, they're conservative.
Are you conservative?
Most of the time.
Good. Trump is a man. Joe Biden is a fool.
They're probably like, what is this guy doing? That's embarrassing, bud. Like, I don't even know what point you're trying to make. Because even if everyone you walk up to inside this TJ Maxx or whatever store this is, it looks like a TJ Maxx, but it could be something else. That's not a sample size that's helpful in any way. All it's going to tell you is, like, what are the voting, like, who's voting for who inside the TJ Maxx in my city? Like, it's not even going to be a fair sample size to talk about the entirety of your city, because certain people are going to shop at TJ Maxx or wherever this is. Like, what? What do you think? How do you think polling works? Is he high? Drunk? He's high on right-wing ridiculousness, is my guess. Enlid. He's high on Fox News. Enlid with 2 bits. You can pick and choose political areas to fit your narrative. In Minnesota, if you go to the west, that's mostly farmland, a lot of Trump supporters. If you go to the Twin Cities, it'll be more for Biden. That's probably the case in most states, especially Midwestern states. Detroit versus rural Michigan. Chicago versus rural Illinois. Yeah. Like here in Michigan, if you go through the country, tons of Trump signs. But if you look in, like, where I live, which is a urban area, it's Saginaw, you're gonna find more Biden voters, more Biden signs. Like, this is why when you're doing polling, you need to look at the entire state, right? And weigh for the population and everything. Like, you can't just go into your local TJ Maxx and be like, I'm gonna do a poll. This is how polls work. Some sovereign citizen stuff with a link. Hold on.
I was just curious. Are you guys voting this year?
Yeah.
Who are you guys voting for? Trump? Trump. I'm voting for Trump.
White lady with a Karen haircut not wearing her mask properly is voting for Trump. I'm shocked.
Okay, good. I was gonna wear my mask, but I don't know.
Good, because Trump is a man. Joe Biden is a fucking idiot. And people need to know that.
Can you imagine, like, and again, I've talked about this before. I'm pretty sure just about every leftist on Twitch has talked about it. Joe Biden ain't my first choice, buds. But, like, I really, really can't imagine a reasonable human being looking and listening to both Trump and Biden speak, and then deciding that they think Trump is the more intelligent of the two. It's genuinely baffling to me when people come to that decision. It's so odd.
Seriously.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Trump tried to blame people not wearing masks on Biden. Biden did not mandate masks. I saw. We'll watch a clip though. The like town hall thing Trump had last night was bonkers. If you saw any clips of it.
Mask has proven to lessen the spread of COVID. Why don't you support a mandate for national mask wearing, and why don't you wear a mask more often?
Well, I do wear them when I have to and when I'm in hospitals and other locations. But I will say this: they said at the Democrat convention they're going to do a national mandate. They never did it because
Trump, they're not the president. They can't do that, you idiot.
Because they've checked out and they didn't do it. And a good question is you ask, like Joe Biden, they said we're going to do a national mandate on masks.
He's called on all governors to have them. It is a state responsibility.
No, but he didn't do it. I mean, he never.
Trump. He's not the president. He doesn't have the power to do that. Do you understand that Joe Biden isn't the president?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Another sovereign citizen link? Okay, thank you.
World of paperwork.
How are you today? Good. How are you? My name's Ryan. I'm actually wondering if you're voting this year.
What?
Are you voting this year?
Yes.
Who are you voting for?
None of your business.
Hopefully Trump, right? I hope it's Trump.
I like this lady's like, it's none of your business, bud. Don't bother me. I'm shopping for bedding inside this TJ Maxx. I don't know where it is. It looks like it looks a little bit like a TJ Maxx, but it looks a little bigger than one, so I don't know.
TJ Maxx, Marshalls, or Home Goods.
Yes.
They're all owned by the same people, so they look exactly
Well, okay. I'll leave you alone. Who are you voting for this year?
Who's asking?
Me.
I'm keeping it to myself.
Okay.
See, I thought through this video because he's like, I'm going to prove that the media's lying to you. I thought he was going to talk to all these people inside this TJ Maxx, and they're all going to be like, I'm voting for Trump. But so far, the majority have either said, I don't know, or it's none of your business, and he got one person that said Trump. Like, this isn't even proving his point inside the weird framework that he thinks polling inside his local TJ Maxx is representative of the national voter, like, demographics. It's very strange.
You just spit on my hand.
Okay. Should have moved your hand.
Just so you guys know, I have a YouTube channel.
Guys, I have a YouTube channel. It has 186 subscribers. Look, 15 downvotes. Oh, 16.
And I do this a lot. And I'm curious to know what your opinion is on Donald Trump. No?
Maybe if you go around and you ask a bunch of people a question for YouTube and the majority of them tell you to piss off, don't post that video. It makes you look like an idiot. Like, there are tons of YouTube channels that do, like, man on the street things, where they'll go and they'll ask people things, they'll go and they'll talk to people, but even they know to cut out the parts where, like, people don't want to talk to them. Heck, Caitlyn Bennett knows to cut out the ones where people are just like, go away.
How you doing today, man? What's your opinion on Donald Trump? Great. Great. Thank you. How you doing today, sir? Are you for or against Trump?
Why are you in here recording me?
Because I want to see if people are for Trump.
I really have no opinion, so
I'm for Trump. Are you for Trump?
I'm working right now, if you don't mind, sir, so.
How does he not realize this makes him look like a creep?
Well, yeah. I hope people vote for Trump.
Okay. There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
The DAC, thank you for subscribing. Micro cleanse. Okay, let me take a look.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Baja Blast Sheep, have you any wool? Cute. From this person who did this is @pig pen and paper.
That's so cute.
Also, a guy wearing a flag mask is obviously a weirdo for Trump. Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna save that guy's channel, because if Biden wins, I want to see the freak out video.
Yeah. Why are all of his videos named the same thing?
Right. That's what I said earlier. I'm like, dude, you can't just name all your videos the same thing. That's confusing. It also isn't representative of what the majority of these videos appear to be. Very weird. Subscribe.
That's funny, that XY girl.
Anyway, let's see. What's next on the wheel? Oh boy, cringe.
Sorry, chat. I keep popping in because I'm gonna miss Hannah a bunch, so I'm trying to get all the cuddles and attention I possibly can.
Yeah, come here, Mark. I know who you are. I know who you are.
Is there any chance you would get me the other Coke that is in there? Thank you.
What's your name?
Me?
Yeah, what's your name? Mike, what's your name? Can you just do me a favor real quick? I'm not a police officer, right? I'm not a cop.
Yeah.
So I can't detain you or nothing. But can I ask you a couple of questions?
If you want, I mean, you know, are you filming me?
Yeah, I'd have to do it for my safety. Can I ask you some questions, though?
Go for it.
All right, well, basically, can I see your phone? Do you mind if I see your phone? Do you have Meet Me app on your phone?
A Meet Me app? No.
Yeah. Can you show me that, please?
Show you.
I'm not showing anyone my phone. Like, what? Why would I?
Do what?
You don't have Meet Me on your phone.
I don't think so, no.
You can't show me you have Meet Me? You're trying to delete it, but I screen record everything, bud. What? Do you have Meet Me on your phone? Be honest.
Do you have
Yeah.
Meet? What's
the app? Go to your apps.
It's everything.
Text the decoy phone right now. I'm gonna text his phone. Just text his thing.
What is this?
Where's Baja going? She has to go back to work. Like, she's been living with me during COVID, but she has to go back and work. She lives like an hour away. So she's got to go back to the university and work again. Because she's a fourth-year PhD student. She works in a lab and does experiments and stuff, and she's got to go back because the lab's reopening.
What's this about?
Just, can you text the Meet Me?
I have
Can you
no
go to the
time
apps?
for this shit. Like, what's this about?
Listen, can you just show me the app and you go to your
No,
apps?
I don't have to show you. That is my app.
I mean, I can call the cops if that's
What are you
I
calling
need
the
to
cops
do.
for?
Because I have the whole chat log. So do you want to just show me and we could talk about this?
Meet me what? I don't know what you're
An
talking
hour and a
about.
half
I'm going to
away,
detox
chat.
Let me
And
see that
that's with
picture.
no traffic.
Show me that picture. Pull that picture up real quick.
How about you take that camera out of my face?
It's
too?
legal. I can
give a
record.
fuck what it is, dude.
Is it a Predator Trapper channel that, like,
Listen,
does
if
the Chris
you're-
Hansen
Well,
thing?
listen. Someone's here to meet a 14-year-old girl, okay?
It's not me, bro.
Listen, I'm just telling you. I caught a
Hand to God, dude.
44.
I will fucking. I do time. Like, I don't fuck with that kind of shit. Like, I'm going to detox right now, dude.
I'm gonna assume it's a Predator channel.
I would fucking love to hit a fucking catch a Skinner on the block and fucking rip his fucking head off.
You don't drive, right? Hell no.
No, dude.
That's what I'm saying. That can't be you. You don't drive.
That's hilarious. I just relapsed like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, don't stop destroying your life, man.
They got the wrong guy, and that guy was going to a
Don't destroy your life, bro.
You'll get weekends at least. It's not the worst. Could be the other side of the world. True. Still, kind of sucks.
PhD students don't get the weekends off.
Canada.
Yeah, but PhD students don't get the weekends off either. My schedule is based on my mice and my experiments. Whether that means I go in at 4 in the morning or 24 hours a day. Like, we have a little cot to sleep in our break room. So yeah.
Golfer hits golf ball into the crowd twice. Yikes. She does experiments on stem cells in fetal mice.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
Are we allowed to know what the goal of the experiments are? It's 2020, Hannah. I'd not be surprised if aliens kidnapped Baja or something like that. Oh, don't say that. I hope that doesn't happen.
First slide, Joe. We'll just slide some people back. Need first aid.
Yeah, they're coming. They're on the way. They have first aid on the way. Can we ask you all to move back over here, please?
Yikes.
What
That's
would be a
unfortunate.
successful week here in Milwaukee?
Reporter being condescending to Tiger Woods. Baja, make me a clone of Shakey's pizza. I understood that reference.
Two things. I think if I play 4 solid rounds, we'll go off to a good start today. If I can do that for 3 more days, I'll be very happy, and a victory would be awfully nice too.
There's
A
nothing
victory.
funny about the tools of
Do
capitalism.
you think, to me, that comes off as a little cocky or brash, especially to
Who says to the face of a competitive player in any sport, whether it be golf or basketball or NASCAR or like whatever, pick any sport, and the person says in the interview, hopefully we can pull out a victory, hopefully you can pull out a win. What reporter in sports says to them, you really think you can win? That's why they're here. Who says that? That's such a jerk move.
Talking to the other guys on tour that have been out here for years and years and years, and certainly an incredible amateur record. But what do you say to those guys?
Well,
when you come out here, you know what I'm saying. Your
I
first
understand.
pro tournament, you say, I can win.
Oh, I understand that.
It's sports. They're competitive. That's kind of the point, right? If you don't go into your tournaments thinking, I can win this, what are you even doing? Then you're not going to win, right? Like, that's kind of part of being the top of your sport, is almost being cocky to a fault, right? It's just weird to me that a reporter would be all up in arms like, oh, you think you can win this tournament? Like a villain in an 80s sports movie or something. It's just weird.
Just figured that why go to a tournament if you're not going there to try and win? There's really no point in even going. That's the attitude I've had my entire life, and that's the attitude I will always have. As I would explain to my dad, second sucks, and third's even worse. That's just a feeling
But
I
on
have.
tour, that's not too bad sometimes, though.
That's not too bad, but I want to win. That's just my nature.
You'll learn.
What an asshole! You think this guy ever was like, wow, I was a real jerk? Because of course Tiger Woods went on to be, I don't know the current world of golf. I don't know where Tiger Woods stands today, but for a long chunk of time, Tiger Woods was like the best golf player in the world. And you're really being like, you'll learn, kid. Like, come on. Competitiveness is part of the game, regardless of what the game is. This guy's life problems is leaking out. Yeah.
I'm just kidding you. I'm sorry I had to say that.
I don't know if. Let me see. What did it say? What year that was? Tiger Woods being condescended to. I know we can talk about Tiger Woods being a absolute like jerk in his real life because he like cheated on his wife or something, but. Interviewing being condescending to Tiger Woods. Does this have any more context? Kudos to Tiger Woods standing his ground. Condescending to Tiger Woods. I'm wondering how he did in that tournament. I think they said 96. Dream Scythe, thank you for subscribing. 4-month streak. My business law professor just used stealing Windows XP as an example for something. Let me see. OP's dude is bad, but the guy was even worse just a year later. Oh no, was he condescending to Tiger Woods again later?
Well, pretty impressive. The little boy's driving it well, he's putting well. He's doing everything it takes to win. So you know what you guys do when he gets in here? Pat him on the back, say congratulations, enjoy it, and tell him not to serve fried chicken next year. Got it. All right.
Oh, he's racist, too. Fantastic. That explains a lot. The interviewer is Curtis Strange, who was a very famous golfer himself. He did, in fact, learn, as everyone else did, on the PGA Tour at the time. Up until that point, golf was dominated by a bunch of white dudes with dad bods. Then Tiger came around. He brought an element of athleticism that golf had never seen before. He wasn't just beating everyone. He was making a mockery of all the golf courses and every other player. He was beating them by embarrassing margins. They all learned very quickly. Anyway. Tetsuyo Dragneel. Here's cringe. I think of Trump completely ignoring this lady's question and going on about COVID when she said her mom died of breast cancer. Oh, God. We'll save that if we get cringe again. Although, I can't just play ABC News clips. I don't think I can do that. Although everyone in the chat, check out that link because I did see that prior and Trump is an idiot. So there's a rowing team. Looks like they're coming towards the dock accidentally. Ooh.
It's okay, girls. Okay. Keep rowing, get to the line. ride the boat, right?
There you go.
Yay!
Oh man, she really grinded that baby in.
What's happening to that?
Collegiate rowing teams are interesting to me. It's interesting that it's obviously like a tradition at some schools, the rowing team. It's so interesting that it's such a thing in certain colleges, but that doesn't expand to like the, I don't want to say the real world, because in many ways college, I mean, look at college football, that's huge, and it's collegiate sports, but it's just interesting to me that rowing has this like rich collegiate tradition, but that isn't a thing in non-college settings usually. It's interesting.
You ruined it for them!
Oh, come on.
Private high school had a rowing team. Yeah. Seems like a private high school thing. Guys, like, if you're in the way, you need to move. Come on.
Back it up! Get off the race course!
Oh no, move! Move!
Yes!
Oh, this is anxiety inducing. Oh. You're gonna be in these guys. Oh no, come on!
This other boat's barreling down.
They're gonna hit you too! Why? Oh, you're taking, you're rowing like a... Get out of the way!
Back up right now!
Oh God, what are you doing?
You guys need to hold up.
Wait up, guys. Watch out, that's a race boat in front of you.
Oh my God, this other boat.
Stop! Stop!
Oh my God!
What is going on this day? Why is everyone doing so bad at running into each other?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
This reminds me of the time Republicans literally sank ships just to win a race and then blamed the left for not being ready for the right literally sinking them. I don't know anything about rowing, so I don't know why these boats are where they are and why there's so much trepidation, why they're running into each other, but...
Oh, guys, all right? Row it.
Row it, girls, go! Stop!
I hope you got this. You got it all? Oh, good. You need to send that to ridiculousness.
Oh no!
Oh no! Again! This is worse than domino. Keep rowing, girls. Get out of the way.
They decided to play Age of Empires, apparently. I don't get that joke. MMO Addicted reminded me of the Trump boat parade. Oh, which ended up sinking because they refused to comply. Yeah.
Come on, move out!
Like, I don't know anything about rowing, but shouldn't you have someone who kind of, like, looks out for obstacles and making sure that you're lined up with the course in an ideal way? It seems like they're all just going in a straight line and they're surprised when they run into something, despite the fact that the river is clearly not a straight line. I don't know.
Move out! We're still racing! Move out!
If you don't know how to row, don't row, man.
Exactly. There needs to be a boat down here.
Just move! Move! Just keep getting out! Get out!
Wow. DJ Khaled trying to speak Arabic. Bumper boats with canoes.
Can you tell everybody what this is?
This is the baklava, sir.
What is it?
Baklava, Greek.
Arabic, we call it baklava.
Baklava.
The tools of capitalism.
No. It was that rich people's boats at the Trump rally created wake that sunk the smaller middle class boats. Isn't it nice when things mirror life?
Used to make my stocks go.
DJ Khaled tries to get the crowd hyped but gets booed off the stage. What, wait, is there a reason people hate DJ Khaled? I'm saying his name weird, I know. Like, do they not like him for some reason? DJ Khaled! Like, why don't they like him? I don't know anything about music or people who perform music, usually.
Hey, sing this! Sing it up! Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. 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 Working all winter, shining all
narcissistic?
Summer. I ain't no beginner youth. To take it to them. Hands up. I'm getting
All I care about is money in the city that I'm from.
Sing it!
Another one.
Shut me off. But guess what? This was your fucking fault! You're the one who paid to be here! Actually, this
This is a D&D game someone's playing, or some sort of tabletop. I guess it doesn't have role playing gets really awkward. Oh no, D&D cringe. This is gonna be rough. Let me put on my D&D hat for this one.
Glad you came here.
Hey, me too. You know, this was actually the first place that popped up. I wasn't even trying to think of anywhere to go. It was just like, bam. You know, like right there.
There's nothing funny about
He smiles and he says,
Not this one. Skip it, please. I haven't seen it. What is it? Is it something that... Oh, there's a... Oh, no. Oh, no. There's a sexual assault thing that happens? Okay. What? Don't...
There's nothing
Look,
funny about
folks.
the tools of capitalism.
The GM has their character assaulted? Oh, God. Okay. I'm glad I have my D&D hat on. Let me talk about something for a little bit. As someone who's both been a player and a DM, I haven't DM'd a ton, but, you know, I've done some sessions and I hope to continue to do so in the future.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Never, ever involve that sort of thing, that kind of assault in your D&D game. It's one thing maybe if, like, you got together before the game and you all had discussions about what themes and things are okay within the game, and if everyone at the table agrees that these things are okay, which is very unlikely, but let's say you find that group of edgelords who think it's okay, I guess whatever. But especially if it's like something like this person is doing where it's being broadcast, do not put these things in your game. It is ridiculous. This GM is the creator of Dungeon World. This is a very controversial vid. It's so bad. Yeah, I bet. And certainly never, ever, 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 ever have this happen to a character in your game. Like, people get attached to their D&D characters. Like, for good reason. I mean, it's a really fun game, but you spend a lot of time playing as these characters, role-playing as them, and they just become very close to people, right? The idea that you as the GM, or another player character even, the idea that you are going to assault that person's character sexually is disgusting. It's gross. There's no reason to do it, ever. It's hurtful. It's gross. It's try-hard, edgy nonsense. It makes you look bad. It makes the game look bad. Do not do it. Period. D&D is like a fun game, right? Or whatever tabletop game you happen to be playing. It's a fun time with friends to get around and sort of tell a collective story, and then you have combat moments where it's sort of a strategy game. and it's a great thing, and it's open to so many people.
Nothing funny about
And
the
we're in
tools
like a
of
golden
capitalism.
age of tabletop games. So many people are into them, especially due to the popularity of things like Stranger Things, where it was featured heavily in the first season. Like, it's an awesome thing. But if you're gonna come in here and try and edgelord it up and literally, like, tell stories about assaulting the characters that your friends spent so much time thinking about and pretending to be, you're a bad person. You're not just a bad DM. You are a bad person who needs help. It's so disgusting. Freaking Out 99. This is why I'm afraid of branching out to find new groups on forums. I'm afraid of chuds. Yeah, I get how that could be a concern. Different cringe since the ABC clip could cause issues. After being introduced... Oh, okay. This requires context. A lot of people are calling this cringe. Guys, did you even read it? So Biden plays Despacito here. Guys, he's playing Despacito because he was being introduced by the guy who does the song Despacito. Did you not even read it? He's not just randomly like, oh, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, let me play Despacito. It's because the guy who introduced him 5 seconds ago is the guy who does Despacito. Like, chuds are spreading this to make Biden look bad and ignoring the fact that he was just introduced by the guy that does Despacito. Do not fall for this shit. You're like literally doing like whatever. Fun fact, the guy wrote a bunch of sensitivity stuff for tabletop. Yikes.
Because, you know, he puts his...
So he goes over to him.
And
All right.
he reaches over. Temperature sensors all go haywire for just a second.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. Do not include sexual assault in your tabletop game. Not cool.
Dear woman, we stand before you today as men committed to becoming more conscious in every way.
We feel deep love, great respect, and a growing sense of worship for the gifts of the feminine. We also feel deep sorrow about the destructive actions of the unconscious masculine in the past and present.
We want to apologize and make amends for those actions today so that we can move forward together into a new era of co-creation.
Okay, so they're like new age weirdos. Like, it's fine to be an ally and a feminist, but they're just doing it in a weird new agey way.
I become more conscious. I grow more aware of the play of masculine and feminine energy. In me,
wait, with tantric
in you,
sex.
in
Oh
all of
no.
life. I know that we all have access to the full spectrum of these energies. I also have a growing awareness of the dimension beyond all dualities, free and open like the sky.
I commit to owning and stewarding a masculinity that honors and celebrates us as equals.
I know that in order to truly honor you as a multidimensional woman,
I must stand fully present with myself and own the gifts I have to share with you.
We can create great miracles together.
By nurturing each other in a conscious way.
This is turning culty, folks. This is very culty.
By treating each other with reverence and respect.
What does tantric sex mean? Tantric sex is sex in which you withhold your climax, and if you do this regularly, you can wind up like engaging in straight sexual intercourse. I say straight. I guess it could be tantric and be, you know, gay, but like typically it was popularized by people like Sting, who engages in this. You can have like sessions of sex that last like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And that's what tantric sex is.
Being the divinity expressed in the masculine and the feminine energies.
As men, our relationship to the feminine has often been unconscious. I feel sorrow that women and feminine energy have for so long been subjugated and oppressed.
Throughout history, men have raped and abused you, burned you at the stake.
Look, again, I'm all for feminism and being an ally, and all sorts of stuff. Making this video, not helping. You just sound creepy, okay? And including, like, edited in things of, like, oh god, this goes on for, like, 7 more minutes. Editing in footage of, like, the crucible and someone getting burned at the stake. That's not helping.
Bought and sold your bodies for sexual pleasure.
Barred you from religious and political office.
Relegated you to subservient chores.
Okay. I'm good.
Nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Daddy Sume. Okay, so Hannah, I have a question for you. So I was in a D&D campaign with someone. Both characters got in a drinking competition. One person used a hex to make sure my character got drunk as well. He wouldn't have been drunk otherwise.
There's nothing funny about the tools
both
of
were
capitalism.
inebriated. My drunk character attempted to give the other character a hug, and they stabbed him because of it. Was what my character did assault? A hug? I don't think so, but I don't know the dynamic of the characters. You getting stabbed was probably assault, though. That's assault with a deadly weapon, actually. They sound like and look like an insane incel cult of nice guy neckbeards. Pretty much, yeah. Anyway, moving on.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Karen. A hug the person didn't want, but drunk person was stupid. I don't know, man. Let me find something to watch. Karen. Cringe.
Make sure to watch the full video. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure to like and I'll refer at a store. Let's check out the full clip to see what happened.
Wear your damn mask in the store. Freedom! Stop it! Whoa, whoa! Whoa, okay, that's assault. That's assault. Stop it! That is assault. Are you gonna tell us? I'm gonna take your picture and send it to the cops. Go ahead, everybody! Well, you think this is cute, huh? You think this is cute, not wearing a mask? I hope you die from the cat. That's a health problem, bro. Taking of this garbage. You can take care of this just by walking away. Thank you. You'll get a damn mask and put it on your face. Thank you for your service.
Look, people should wear a mask. I totes agree. And you could even tell people like, hey, dick, wear a mask. Standing around and following them and screaming at them, they're not going to listen to you. It's a pointless endeavor.
We appreciate your service, sir. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, you can't get it? It's not fun. Where the hell's it from? I know. Oh, I got a health problem too. I'm asthmatic. Guess what? I'm wearing one.
With me, cause you think you are bum ass bitch. Like shit.
Our next Karen makes life extremely difficult for these two security guards. Let's check out the full video to see what happened.
With me, cause you think you are bum ass bitch. Like shit. Fuck you. Learn your shit, motherfucker. Learn your shit, motherfucker. Learn your shit. I said learn, motherfucker. You think you bars, you ain't shit. You fucking petty ass bitch. That's what you are. No, because these motherfuckers think they owe somebody, bitch. Yeah. Fuck with me. Fuck with me. No.
Oh, this guy's
There's
drunk.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Daddy Sume will probably get this joke. This better not be a Rickroll. The most grim, dark reality of 2020 is the knowledge deep inside every person who has ever played or written for Warhammer that they were dead wrong about what cultists of Nurgle would look and act like. Florida anti-maskers inside a Walmart think this is funny.
Yeah, we got someone.
Yikes.
back his ass up. I'm telling you to back his ass up, bitch! Back your ass up, bitch!
What is this guy's personality?
No!
I think that was your Walmart. I mean, it could be. I think it said Florida.
What you gotta do? Bro, let's go. Oh, what you gotta do? Oh!
Let's go.
What you doing, bitch? Attack me. No. Fuck you, bitch. You wanna attack me? I'm not attacking you. You wanna attack me? You need to back up. You wanna attack me?
Look at this man.
No. Fuck you, motherfucker. I ain't fucking. I ain't playing no games, bitch. You ain't playing no games, bitch. You ain't.
Oh, it's on.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
it's on. Oh, it's on.
Fuck you. Fuck you, you stupid ass, pussy ass bitch. Fuck you. You can't help nobody. You can't help nobody. Fuck you. Fuck you, you pussy ass bitch.
Badass. I'm trying to get out of the parking lot. I'm not that lazy that I have to go through a drive-through. You don't need to pull through someone who's
Well, when
trying
you're
to
trying, it looks like you're trying to cut me off.
I'm not that fat. I don't have to get in line and sit in my car.
Well, you have a really smart mouth to have two kids in the back seat.
Well, you know what? If you weren't so rude.
Oh, well, I didn't know what you were doing. Thank you. Excuse me. Excuse me. I can't see you.
Shut up, fat ass.
Oh my goodness. I'm not fat whatsoever, honey. Get another injection.
Call Ken. Call Ken. You got the key. Yes, of course. Call Ken. Open. I don't have to open the door. Call Ken.
Our next Karen harasses a black woman because he doesn't believe that she lives in the neighborhood.
This is my least favorite kind of Karen thing. It's just depressing. There's so many videos of this. Think about all the times this has happened and there was no camera in just like recent history. This is on camera all the time now because people have cameras. It was probably even more prevalent when people didn't think they were going to be filmed. Ridiculous.
Check out the full video to see what happened.
Call Ken. No, call Ken. I'm not doing it. Call Ken. Call Ken.
You got the key.
Yes, of course. Call Ken.
Open.
I don't have to open the door. Call Ken. Call Ken. Because I live here. Call Ken. What's your name? What's your name, sir? It doesn't matter, just like you asked mine. What unit do you live in? What unit do you live in?
308.
308.
Yeah.
I live in 208.
208?
Yeah. Go ahead and call Ken. Go ahead and call it Ken. Go ahead and call Ken. Go ahead and call Ken. Where's your mask?
There's nothing funny about the tools of
What's your name, sir?
Dr. Gamble with 20 bits. It's great that every successive Karen vid makes me lose more and more faith in humanity. You have faith in humanity left? Wow.
What's your name?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, you just asked mine. What's your name?
I didn't ask your name.
Yes, you did, and you asked me what unit I lived in.
No, I didn't.
What's your name?
No, I didn't ask your name.
Okay. What's your name?
You live here in the building.
I do live here, yes. Great. This is going to be an awful waste of your time once you realize and talk to Ken that I live here. What's your name? And also, I think your Ford's a little faulty because your alarm went off for no reason. But that's why you chased me down the block to see if I live here.
Chased you?
You came after me when I'm walking my dog. Aren't we back in front of our apartment building now?
Yeah, let's go.
After you. Thanks.
Sure.
Go ahead and call Ken.
Honestly, if I were her, I would have closed it and then put my password in just to show, like, I live here, you idiot.
Go ahead and call Ken. Come on, buddy, calm down. Go ahead and call Ken. Go ahead and call Ken so you can verify that I live here. Your alarm being faulty has nothing to do with me. I live here. I've lived here a long time. I told you what unit. You live in 308, right? Go ahead and call Ken. Call Ken. Call Ken, the leasing manager. Call Ken. Call Ken. Actually, step over here and call Ken.
I'm gonna skip because this is repetitive.
I already told you.
Oh, this...
Okay, so what are you gonna do? Come to my door and threaten than me? You go up, I'm gonna ask me if I live here.
Oh, that's the end of the video. That's the whole video. Annoying. Alright, we've been going for almost 4 hours. I think that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow for something else. I'm not sure what. We're gonna raid the serfs. So thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed the stream. We will be back tomorrow for I don't know what. Who knows what kind of stream we're gonna do, but I'm sure it'll be a good time. So have a good night, everyone. Chat is valid.
There's nothing funny
And
about the tools of
stay
capitalism.
cool. That's gonna be a Rickroll. I'll click on it after the video's over, just so you can't get me, Sume. Have a good night, everyone.